Sending that one forward, finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores! Cole Bodwin! Welcome to the Bayshore Community Center in Owen Sound for our first official road broadcast of the season. I'm your host, Mike Poirier, joined alongside Josh McCann as this Barrie Colts team coming off a tough loss last night at home against the Windsor Spitfires, a 3-1 defeat. But it was that third period where they put up 20 shots, but just wasn't good enough in the long run there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember they were playing a really good Windsor Spitfires team. Many believe that they're going to make the finals. They're my personal pick to win the OHL championship this season. And the Colts had a strong start to the game. It was very defensively minded first period. Shots were only 7-3 Windsor. Colts had a couple good chances. I remember Joe Solandra having a really nice opportunity in the first period, but the second period for the Colts really did them in. It started with a Cole Emerton holding penalty that led to a power play goal. Windsor was able to strike for 3 in the period, and really that's what it came down to. Windsor and Barrie each had one really good period, and Windsor took advantage of that with 3 goals, but the Colts were only able to beat Joey Costanzo for 1 goal in the third there.
Now, getting ready for this afternoon's game against the Owen Sound Attack, these two teams met Thursday back at the Saddlein Arena, and that hockey game, the Owen Sound Attack controlling most of that one. If it wasn't for Ben Horebic, the Barrie Colts may not have gotten a point in that hockey game as he stole the show facing 50 shots.
Yeah, Horebic was fantastic. I mean, you remember that first period, Barrie was up 1-0 after 1 because Ben Horebic stopped 24 shots in the first period, and from there on, he was dominant. The only shot that got past him was a Tristan DeLille deflection, and then Jacob Therrien's shootout winner. And Horebic, an interesting stat I found out, he's made over 40 saves 6 times, but has only been able to win 3 of those. So when Ben Horebic's making big performances like that, the Barrie Colts need to start showing up for their goaltender.
Now that since it's been a very busy week for the Barrie Colts, they played last night against Windsor. Horebic being given the night off. So Arvin Jaswal getting his second career OHL start. He was in the home opener against the Guelph Storm, where the Barrie Colts earned their 1 win of the regular season. We're actually going to talk with Dylan Smoskowitz in a couple of minutes to get his take on everything going on. But for Jaswal, he's a young netminder and looked pretty confident in the preseason and really strong in that game against the Guelph Storm. So it's going to be interesting to see how that transpires against this Owen Sound Attack team.
Well, yeah, one of the most impressive things for Arvin Jaswal that game is you look at about halfway through the game, the shots were 28-3, and it's very hard for a goaltender to stay in the game when there really isn't any shots. I mean, that second shot for Guelph was a shot from about the neutral zone. And yeah, so Jaswal wasn't pressured a lot early on. Guelph started to form a bit of an attack in the third period. Overall, a pretty strong game for Jaswal as he looks to solidify himself as the backup for Barrie.
And also a change in lineup for the Owen Sound Attack. It's a noticeable one as Carter George played last night in the win against the Kitchener Rangers. So George not even dressing for the Owen Sound Attack today, as they're going to go with Kaprowski in net to start and then Bennett as the backup. And the Owen Sound Attack, they're a team that's they're like a goaltending farm, and it just goes to show that they're capable and pretty deep in the crease.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest questions coming into the year was, would Owen Sound trade Carter George no matter what they're doing this season, just because they had Matthew Kaprowski and Trenton Bennett in net? But now I think we're asking the question with the way Owen Sound has played, do they keep Carter George around considering how good they look right now? If they're second or third in the Western Conference by the trade deadline, they may look to keep George and trade one of the other netminders to get an upgrade offensively. But yeah, like you said, Carter George is like a horror for Barrie Colts fans with the way he usually plays against them. So even though Matthew Kaprowski is a very strong goaltender for Owen Sound, I think the Colts are catching a bit of a break with no Carter George today.
Well, we'll see how this all plays out. And before the game, we had a chance to catch up with head coach Dylan Smoskowitz to talk about last night's game and how to prepare for tonight. We're joined by Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz. And
Kahan, you just returned this week to Barrie.
A game that kind of got away from you guys against the Windsor Spitfires, that 3-1 loss. It's early in the season, so obviously there's a lot of places to learn and to grow. So is that the mentality you're taking out of that game?
Well, definitely. I think anytime that you don't get the results you crave, the results you think you worked for, then you got to learn from that. So, we were pretty happy with the structure in the first. We were very happy with our battle and our work ethic in the third. We weren't happy with very much in the second period. So we take the clips from that, we show them to the guys, we learn from those clips, and we improve on them. And that's pretty much the way that we do things here in Barrie.
Yeah, because yesterday it seems as though the first and the second kind of cautious for out on the ice getting those shots, but third period 20 shots on goal. It seemed like you guys were really starting to pick up that momentum, putting pressure there on the Spitfires.
There's always got to be that balance, I think. We, again, very happy with our defensive game in the first, but you look at the score clock and you got 3 shots in net with 1 scoring chance for. So, how do you kind of blend that? How do you blend that same defensive awareness and the defensive structure now mixed in with some more jump on the offensive side? Starting to make some more creative plays, getting a little bit harder on the forecheck, getting guys more engaged on the forecheck. So it's 3 games into the season. We've got some real good clips, some real good learning opportunities for the guys here. Some of our younger guys who are still getting their feet wet in the league. So we take a game like that, we learn from it, but again, a lot of positives to take out of something like that as well.
And now the first road game of the season, you're playing an attack team you guys just saw the other day. That was a pretty close matchup, ended up going to a shootout. What do you take going into this game, preparing for a team such as Owen Sound?
It's a good challenge for our guys. We talk a lot about making the investment early on in the week. So now it's a 3rd game in 4 nights. Quick turnaround for us with a bus ride this morning. How bad do you want it? How well have you trained your body? How much have you sacrificed the previous week and all summer long to be able to go and give 100% today and not slow down? If our last shift is as strong as our first shift tonight, I think we're going to be just fine.
And you're going with Arvin Jaswal in net here. We saw him in the home opener against the Guelph Storm. Obviously in the preseason, he was solid, and it seems like you guys have some pretty good confidence in the young netminder.
We definitely do. I mean, he's undefeated. Jazzy's undefeated this year, and again, you can tell he's put the work in this summer. We've really liked him throughout training camp and his preseason games. We loved him in game 1 of the season when he got the win against Guelph. So we have all the confidence in the world, and to be honest with you, I'm pretty excited to watch him play today.
So that was Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and I love how he points out that Jazzy, he's undefeated this season, and especially in his career there. So Arvin Jaswal, the young netminder, he was with the team all last year and never got a start, but he got to see what it was like to be in the Ontario Hockey League, the ins and outs, being behind both Sam Hillebrand and Ben Horebic, and it seems to be paying off as he gets ready for this season.
Yeah, Arvin Jaswal spent a lot of time around this Barrie Colts team, so like you said, although he doesn't have the playing experience, he knows what the OHL life is like. And he also had 2 pretty good mentors in Sam Hillebrand and Ben Horebic last year. I mean, those 2 were 2 of the best goaltenders in the OHL. To be learning from them, it's got to be pretty good for Arvin Jaswal's development. And he had a strong start against Guelph, and he'll look to do the same here against Owen Sound. But it'll definitely be a tough task with the way the attack has played so far this year.
So we're still about 5 minutes away from puck drop here at the Bayshore Community Center. We want to thank those who are already tuning in tonight, or should I say this afternoon, for this broadcast between the Colts and the Attack. Just a reminder, this is a radio audio broadcast, so you will not be seeing what is happening out on the ice, but we wanted to be able to bring a Barrie flair to the broadcast. This is something that the Colts haven't had in years, if not ever, is my understanding. So this is something new. And since it's here on YouTube, we do have the chat open. So at any time you want to put in a comment, or maybe you have a question, you can put it in the chat, and Josh and I will answer those questions as the game goes on. Obviously, we'll save the chat for both the first and second intermission. And just as a tease, in the first intermission, Josh was able to catch up with Kahan Herson before the game. We're going to talk about his training camp with the New York Islanders. And you could just tell that with Kahan Herson, he's excited to get this season going after being drafted in the first round.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, speaking of Herson, he seems so excited to be back in Barrie. And you got to remember, the way Kahan Herson played last year, he was the highest point getter and highest goal scorer for the Barrie Colts last season. And so adding him back to this lineup is going to very much help the Barrie Colts offense. It hasn't so far in his 2 games. In fact, they've actually scored less than they did in the game without him. But yeah, I mean, you look on the back end for the Barrie Colts as well. Cole Emerton, Teague Vader, Justin Hanser, Ethan Armstrong. Those are guys that have never played a full season in the OHL. Hanser and Armstrong were with the team all last year, but they were mainly the 7th and 8th defensemen. So having Kahan Herson back is going to be so huge to help those guys learn how to play in the OHL.
Yeah, so right now we are seeing Dylan Smoskowitz kind of rotating the young defensemen to get their feet wet, to get used to it. Ethan Armstrong was not in the lineup yesterday against the Windsor Spitfires. He will slot in, and we're also seeing Govro back in the lineup tonight for the Barrie Colts, and it's going to be like that, I think, for these next few weeks, as they still try to figure out what is this team, what are they going to be capable of, as we've seen these last few games now. Goal scoring and shots, a bit of an issue here, and I'm sure for Smoskowitz, he wants to see that addressed.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, outside of the last two third periods for the Barrie Colts, there was nothing going on in the first two periods. I mean, if they play like they did in the third period against Windsor, the goals are eventually going to come. But if you play like you did the first two periods against Owen Sound or the first two periods against Windsor, I mean, you're just not generating enough chances to be able to find the back of the net, especially with a team right now that doesn't really have much offense going for them. A lot of question marks, a lot of young guys that are just making their mark in the OHL. I think one thing that would be big for the Barrie Colts is getting Cole Baudouin back. I mean, he's not the hugest goal scorer. He was only a point a game last year, but he's still a very good player for the Barrie Colts to help them create offense. And it also just moves guys down the lineup. I mean, Brad Gardner and Alex Asadorian are pretty good OHL players, but you move them down to second and third center. All of a sudden, you're a pretty deep team at that center position.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see how long do the Barrie Colts have to wait until Cole Baudouin returns from the Utah Mammoth. My understanding is coaching staff and management in Utah, they absolutely love what they have with Cole Baudouin, which Barrie Colt fans are excited to hear. They want to see him have that success, but at the same time, you want to see Baudouin back here in the Ontario Hockey League. Emil Hemming is similar with the Dallas Stars organization. It sounds like he'll get a good look with the Texas Stars in the American Hockey League, and then a decision will then have to be made. Does Emil Hemming come back to the Barrie Colts? And if you can get Hemming and Baudouin back, this offense has a whole other look, and that's something that kind of feels like it's missing right now is just that offensive push.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's like you said, it's one of those weird things where we're supposed to be excited for Cole Baudouin and Emil Hemming for moving on, but then you're disappointed because if they move on, it's kind of moves and score for Barrie Colts. And Emil Hemming will be a very interesting piece. He had a really strong year last year, putting 18 goals. And Marty Williamson, to kind of deepen this Barrie Colts lineup last year, had Emil Hemming playing third line minutes most of the year. Nothing against him, but that's just how deep this Colts offense was last year. This season, Emil Hemming would be playing first line minutes for the Colts, first line power play. He'd be going to the World Juniors with Finland and everything. So, yeah, he'd be a huge ad for this Barrie Colts team. Getting that one-timer back would be so critical for Barrie Colts.
Now, both teams are now just taken to the ice as they're just doing the player introductions for the hometown Owen Sound Attack. But during the warm-up, one thing we noticed was Jacob Therrien, how he was kind of riding that center line. And you had Calvin Crombie, Alex Asadorian, a few other guys coming over and giving Therrien a bit of a piece of their mind. And it seems as though Therrien playing his role quite well with this Owen Sound Attack team since being traded here from North Bay.
I mean, he's pretty much Brad Marchand.
Pretty much.
Say, yeah. The biggest note from Thursday night that I think we're going to remember is Jacob Therrien and Calvin Crombie looking like they were about to fight, and then Therrien fake drops the gloves. They go to the penalty box, and then they decide, well, we might fight here in the penalty box. They were cooler heads did prevail, but there was a lot of chirping between the two of them. So it'll be interesting to see if Therrien and Crombie get into it again tonight.
Well, Jacob Therrien is quickly becoming a fan favorite for the Owen Sound Attack. My understanding is in the game against the Kitchener Rangers last night, was given a misconduct, and he was kind of trying to rile up the crowd here at the Bayshore. So we're going to go to the national anthems, and when we come back, we will have puck drop for the first period. So we're just about ready to go here for this afternoon's game between the Barrie Colts and the Owen Sound Attack. I know we already touched on the goaltending a bit in the pregame show, But Josh, let's take a look at our starting goaltenders.
Well, yeah, to start for the road team, it's the Barrie Colts. Arvin Jaswal getting his second start of this season. Jaswal played the first game against the Guelph Storm earlier this year. Jaswal, a .926 save percentage, stopping 25 of 27 and getting the win. For the home team, the Owen Sound Attack, it's 2007-born Matthew Kaprowski in net. Kaprowski making his first start of the season, returning from St. Louis Blues camp. Played in 20 games last year for the Attack, going 8-9-1 with an .866 save percentage.
So we're just about ready to go here between the Colts and the Attack. The second meeting of the Highway 26 rivalry. These two teams just played Thursday night down at the Sadlin Arena. It was a 2-1 final in a shootout. And really, Ben Horevic was the story in that hockey game. So tonight, Jaswal will get the start. And we'll see how this one all plays out as they get ready for the draw at center ice. Asadorian against Tristan DeLille. And we are underway. Face-off won by the Attack as they'll send this one in the zone. DeLille chasing after it. Takes the shot. Jaswal an early save. Colts will pick this one up as Asadorian carrying it ahead. Through the neutral zone, Asadorian will send it deep. Kaprowski tried to slow that one down behind the Attack net. Owen Sound with possession. The Attack trying to pass that one across with Banks. Now it reaches center. Asadorian reaching for it as Tristan DeLille carries it in. It's a bouncing puck. DeLille trying to settle it down. Jaden Newton now on the near boards. Greenberg will send that one deep into the Barrie zone as the Attack will make a line change. Kahan Herson chasing after the loose puck. He'll reach the neutral zone as he takes a hard hit from Mason Ray. Puck rolls on net. Kaprowski will play it. Roberts collects it for the Attack. He's going to pass it to the near wing as Bedkowski will send it ahead. Crawford got a stick on it, so no icing. Eliason delivering a hit on Mason Ray. Puck going behind the Colts net. Carter Lowe's going to pass this one ahead. Picked off by Roberts. There's the shot deflected into the corner. Nancy picks it up for Owen Sound. Trying to come off the boards. Blocked by Salandra. And the Colts will move it up through center. It's Brad Gardner. That puck sent deep. Kaprowski out of his net to play it. Roberts will come to pick it up. Facing pressure there from Gardner. Good work by Gardner on the forecheck, but the Attack still managed to get it out to center. Nancy. He'll take a hit from Eliason, but he's still able to get it deep. Vader had it for a moment. Bodies flying. Kind of what we expected here. Puck's in front. Shot scores! Sikora on the doorstep and the Owen Sound Attack. They have an early 1-0 lead.
What a pass from Reed Rogers on the back end of the Owen Sound Attack there. He comes up the boards, leaving his defensive position, and is able to quickly fire it across to Sikora. Jaswal had to quickly get across to the other side. It's a replay on the Jumbotron here, and Sikora alone out front as T. Vader was down in the corner. Gabriel Eliason and Vader both on the same side of the ice, set up Sikora open, and the Attack have a quick start to this game.
So that's now Nicholas Sikora's second goal of the season. Of course, the son of Peter Sikora, the former NHLer. As that puck's going to go on net, and Kaprowski is going to cover it up.
Not the starts the Colts were looking for, as we mentioned in the pregame. I mean, the starts for the Barrie Colts have again been an issue, kind of similar to last season, where they just couldn't seem to start on time. And again here, the last two games, it seemed to have been more getting outshot, but here tonight, this afternoon, it's an early goal.
Well, this Owen Sound Attack team has been quite the surprise to start the season. Right now with that 3-0 record, surprised many even in the media room that they handed the Kitchener Rangers that 5-2 loss last night. And already Owen Sound up 1-0 as the Colts send it down the ice, and that's going to be an icing call, and they're going to bring this one back.
Well, another thing that's been big for the Attack is that power play, 4 for 7 last night, and watching them play a preseason game at the Sadlin Arena is kind of an interesting point as power play struggled that night. It had struggled throughout the preseason and struggled all of last year. So for them to get an early power play start to this season has been really a good pick for them.
So we'll get the face-off now to the right of Arvin Jaswal, won by the Attack. Puck comes back to the point. Zarowski sending that one up to Greenberg. That puck got away from him. Puck's in the corner. The Attack trying to move it around. Banks at the blue line. He'll cut to the middle, trades places with Greenberg, drops it off. There's the shot deflected wide side of the nets. And Zarowski was there, but couldn't beat Jaswal. Colts will clear the zone. They're going to make a line change as the Attack pick it up in their own end. Puck sent ahead quickly. Nelson delivers the hit, but the Colts able to get it out to center ice. Greenberg quickly puts it right back into the Barrie zone. Bit of a fast-paced start here between the Colts and the Attack, something we didn't see last night against Windsor. As the puck goes deep, Rogers trying to get it ahead. McCormick was there, couldn't get a stick on it. Puck's deep in the Owen Sound zone. Zarowski, he has possession. He'll pass that one back as the Attack try to regroup. Roberts will send this one around. He takes the hit. The Attack get it out to the neutral zone, and Aitchison will get it right back into the Owen Sound zone. Bedkowski sends that one across. That's going to go deep. Evan Passmore there to pick it up for Barrie. Crombie with possession. Tristan DeLille with the bump. DeLille comes out of the corner, takes the shot, put that one over the net. Puck sails all the way back into the neutral zone where the Attack will pick it up. Bedkowski, long pass, that's deflected, ends up going over the Colts net. Kahan Herson with possession. He's being chased here by Therrien. Colts moving ahead. Here's Arnett. Settles it down, finds Jacob Therrien on the right side, dropping it back. Tristan DeLille. DeLille back to Rogers. Rogers with a shot. That goes off a leg and wide. Bowie back behind the net for the Attack. Aitchison will take that one away. Gets to the line, not out. Kept in by Arnett. Good pressure here again by the Attack. Therrien falling, trying to send it back, but that's taken away by Newton. He can't get it out. There's a shot. And Jazzwall forced to make another save as the Attack really quick here on the Barrie Colts here tonight.
Well, it looked like Jade Newton was going to have an opportunity to get that puck out of the zone, but tried to do a bit of a spinning backhander there and got caught and gave the Attack another chance. And that top line of Bowie, Therrien, and DeLille, I mean, you look at it and you think about all the skill they have, you kind of forget how physical they can be. Both Pierce Bowie and Jacob Therrien all over Barrie players, forcing turnovers with some of their big hits.
Yeah, really good on the forecheck early on by the Attack as Greenberg has possession at the point, gives it up to Ray. Ray with a shot off the top of the net. Nathan Ray didn't even have a glove on as that fell off after the draw. Colts still can't get it out. That's tipped wide by Nancy. Vader with possession. He'll send it up to Salandra. Salandra now skates it up to center. Low chips that one deep. Ray will be the first one on it for Owen Sound. He's tied up. Puck goes to the near corner. The Attack, though, able to clear it once again. Nancy at center ice, tied up by Eliasson. Colts will move it up. No icing. Kaprowski out of his net to play it. Owen Sound with it. Banks sends this one around as the Attack trying to get it out of their own zone. Banks with some speed, carrying it in for Owen Sound. Banks to the net. Jazzwell had the pad down. Nancy picks off the pass along the boards. Spins in the corner. Takes the hit. He's knocked down by Justin Hanser. Gardner there for Barrie. Gets it to Hanser as Hanser will skate this one forward. Schneid couldn't hold on to that one. Crawford took it away. Schneid gets it again for the Colts. That's center ice. Therrien or Bedkowski. He comes off the bench. Drops it back. Crawford. His shot wide of the net. Puck's in the corner. Crawford trying to play it there, but it's taken away by Justin Hanser. Hanser passing that one ahead. Schneid takes the hit from Sikora. Puck goes deep. Kaprowski behind his net. He'll send this one around. Passmore tried to keep it in the offensive end. Delayed offside now against the Colts. Owen Sound with it. Roberts up to DeLille. He loses it. Passmore to Schneid. He's knocked down, but tips that one deep. The Attacker there to pick it up. Bedkowski back to Roberts. Nearly lost it to Desiderio. The Attack still with possession. This is one thing we noticed last Thursday is just the possession time heavily favoring Owen Sound as this is going to be an icing call against the Attack.
Yeah, it seems like Barrie having very minimal time with the puck, like you were trying to say there. And yeah, it feels like once Owen Sound gets the puck, they just can't get it back. And for Barrie, once they really all they're seeming to do is dump the puck into the zone. They haven't been able to get much offensive zone time. They're going to get an offensive zone draw here, so hopefully Astorian can win it and set something up for the Colts.
So the face-off will be to the right of Kaprowski. Colts get it off the draw. Here's Vader at the point. He's going to try and send that one around. Vader gets it again at the blue line. Take Vader. Drops it back to Crombie. Takes the point shot. That goes wide. Aitchison on the far side. Can't hold on to that. Puck's bouncing. Crombie overskates it. Asadorian up the middle. Puts that one wide. Deck. His pass goes off a skate. Deck will get it again in the corner. Asadorian gives it up to Newton. Newton with a shot, scores! Jaden Newton puts it top shelf, and the Barrie Colts, they have tied this game at 1.
Well, I don't want to take credit for that, but I did say that if Asadorian won the draw, they could set something up. What a job by that second line of the Barrie Colts. And it's a new-looking line. Dylan Smoskowitz changed up the lines here today, moving Jaden Newton up to his top line. Crombie gets physical, forcing the turnover, and Asadorian able to center it for Jaden Newton, who's able to beat Kaprowski glove side. And remember last year, Newton was the guy that Marty Williamson was able to use basically on every line. Dylan Smoskowitz using him on the second line today, and it's already worked out as we're tied at 1.
What a great shot. Jaden Newton, his first of the season. And really, it was in the second half last year that we started to see more of Jaden Newton out on the ice. So he's being rewarded for his efforts here. It's a whole new hockey game. Arnett for the attack will send that into the Barrie zone. Eliasson there to collect it. He's going to send this one around. Passmore to Edgar. Edgar trying to get this one out. And Zarowski takes a hit from Govro. They're tied up in front of the Colts bench as Owen Sound will move it up. Arnett dropping this one back. Nelson from the corner sends this one around. Rogers at the point keeps it in for the attack. Zarowski sending this one up to Nelson. He's tied up. Zarowski back to Rogers. Battle escape the zone. Owen Sound with possession. They're going to dump this one in. Both teams making changes. 12:42 left to go here in the first period. Tied at 1. Sikora and Newton, your goal scorers so far this afternoon. Puck's at the Colts blue line. Pierce Bowie will collect it. Can't get by Hanser. Hanser, though, tied up. Tarian, he loses it. Colts moving out. That pass picked off by Greenberg at center ice. The attack will send it right back into the Barrie zone. Bowie after it. From the corner, his pass deflected. That's going to go over the net. Tarian dropping it back to Bowie. Pierce Bowie. He's tied up. Colts pick it up. Banks, though, keeps it in. Makes the move. Sets up Tristan DeLille. Back up by him. Gabriel Eliasson. He'll pass this one forward. Gardner. That pass knocked down by Bowie. Good hand-eye from Pierce Bowie. Gardner off to Salandra at center ice. He's going to dump that one in. Puck goes deep. Attack. Trying to get out of their zone. It's right now Jacob Tarian from his own blue line. Weaving through the neutral zone. He's going to dump it in and go off for a change. Evan Passmore. Leaving it there for his defense partner, Kahan Herson. Herson from his own blue line up to Schneid. Schneid tips that one in. He's going to go after it himself. Bedkowski meets him there in the corner. Schneid still with it, battling with Bedkowski. Puck's in the corner. Back behind the attack net. Bedkowski sending it back, picked off by Aitchison. Aitchison down low. Comes back, Desiderio with the shots, and that's blocked in front. Good stick work there by Noah Roberts. Now it's the attack the other way. Harry Nancy takes the shot, kicked aside, taken away by Schneid. Good reflexes there from William Schneid. Now the puck's at center ice. Colts lose possession. Collision there between Nancy and Aitchison. Puck's carried in by the attack. It's Crawford in the corner. He's knocked over. Fans want a penalty, but none coming. Play continues. It's a scrum now in the corner. Kahan Aitchison trying to dig it free. He will. He's going to take this back behind his own net. Approaching the midway point of the first period. Still tied at 1 here between the Colts and the attack. Armstrong takes it from Aitchison. Asadorian through the neutral zone. Gets by Dak. Hits the brakes. Trying to avoid the hit. They send that one in. The attack with it. Rogers sends that one over. Arnett carrying this one in. Up to Dak. Dak across. There's a shot to Lil. Stopped by Jaswal. As Max DeLille getting a great opportunity, but Arvin Jaswal gets the better of him.
Nice save by Jaswal, and it looked as though Max DeLille maybe hesitated in taking that shot there, and that allowed Jaswal to have a bit more time to get across and make the save.
So it's the timeout here at the Bayshore, and we do want to thank our sponsor, Frontline Hockey Apparel, as they've partnered with the broadcast here. They're our official power play sponsor of the broadcast. We want to thank them, and you can always check them out at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. And if you would like to sponsor the broadcast as well, you can still do so by sending an email to fromtheboothwithmike@gmail.com. And we can get you to become a partner of this new radio broadcast of the Barrie Colts road season. So we're going to get the faceoff now brought back into the Barrie Colts zone. And with that goal from Jaden Newton, really showing that this team can respond quickly, something that was kind of missing last night against the Windsor Spitfires, especially in that second period.
Yeah, it's something we saw last year that even when the Barrie Colts were getting outplayed, they found a way to stick in these games and really respond whenever the other team would get on the board. We didn't see that last night, obviously, like you said. Windsor got out to that 1-0 lead, and from there, it was really all Spitfires the rest of the period. So a big response there by Jaden Newton as Colts look to get some more offensive zone time. Haven't seen much outside of that one opportunity.
And the Colts send it quickly down the ice into the Owen Sound zone. Sikora throwing the hit. Puck's behind the net. Calvin Crombie has it in his skates, kicks it there to Asadorian. Max DeLille with possession for Owen Sound. That's sent to the neutral zone. Dexter's going to peel back for the attack. Arnett reaches center. He's going to dump this one in. Vader will be the first one on it. Max DeLille knocks him over. Vader from his knees gets it up to Asadorian. Banks tried to knock it down. Now it's Jaden Newton on the wing. Newton takes the shot, and that goes wide of the net. Puck comes to the near side. Knocked down was Crombie. Max DeLille sends it to center ice. Picked up here by Banks. Banks really showing that speed as he's run over by Aitchison. Kahan Herson right now is showing more of that physical play. Delayed offside right now against the attack. Zarowski will touch it, and they're going to bring this faceoff out.
Well, I think this is a pretty big start for Owen Sound goalie Matthew Kaprowski. You know, we talked about how they have three goaltenders. Well, Carter George, is going to be one of the main two getting starts. And Trenton Bennett came out in his first game and was absolutely amazing for this Owen Sound team. So Kaprowski wants to come out, have a strong start. You don't want to struggle early and maybe get left behind in this trio.
Well, it's kind of the envy of the OHL, seeing that they've got three goaltenders that are very capable of being starters in the OHL. And tonight, giving George the night off. He's not even on the bench. It's Bennett who's backing up Kaprowski. Colts in the neutral zone. That's tipped in the zone by Edgar, so no icing. Rogers sends that one ahead. Zarowski gets to the line. That's knocked out. Edgar trying to settle it down. He'll send it back to his defenseman. Eliason passing that one up. Zarowski, he's knocked over by McCormick. Bodies continue to fly here this afternoon. Eliason will send it deep. Kaprowski behind his own net to play it. Rogers there to pick it up for Owen Sound. The attack will move this one forward. That's deflected. Bouncing into the Colts zone. Kahan Herson will settle it down. Back to Eliason. Eliason back to Aitchison. He's going to go for a skate. Reaches center ice. Looks over his shoulder. He's going to send it in as Colts are in the process of making a line change. Vedkowski takes the bump there from Carter Lowe. Stays with it. And that puck is going to go out of play. It's deflected. And they're going to bring this face-off in the attack zone.
Well, it's the first time we've seen the Barrie Colts on the road this season. So as part of it, we get to see their new look jerseys with the Under Armour sponsor. They got the yellow on the back of the jerseys now.
It's looking pretty snazzy. I know there's been a lot of fans who've been disgruntled with some of the Under Armour looks, but the yellow kind of looks nice there on the Colts.
Got pretty lucky with their two jerseys.
And then with the attack, they've got the black on the white, so that works. Talking about some of the traditional jerseys, but we'll get to that another time. Colts win the face-off, send it deep. Here's Joe Salandra. Salandra along the boards. Comes back to the point. He's just going to take it out himself. Colts are going to regroup. Salandra sends that one in. Kaprowski stops it behind the net. Vedkowski with possession. He'll send this one forward. Puck nearly picked off. Ends up in the neutral zone. Carter Lowe will take it in again for the Colts. Backhand pass. Picked off by Bowie. Puck spinning at the blue line. Attack will get it out. Tarian was wanting that breakaway pass. Colts, though, take it away. Kahan Herson sends it ahead. Salandra will tip that one deep. Vedkowski back to pick it up for Owen Sound. Both teams making changes. 7:15 left to go in the first period. We're tied at 1. The attack leading on the shot clock right now, 7-3. But recently, the Colts doing a better job getting the puck in the offensive zone. Here comes Vader. Through the neutral zone, ahead for Desiderio. Desiderio with a shot. Kaprowski the save. Puck's loose. Schneid couldn't get there in time. Desiderio, he's tied up. Gives it up to Schneid behind the attack net. Trying to send it in front. Bodie Stewart was there. The attack now get it ahead. Tarian stopped at the blue line. Follows through with it. Jacob Tarian, but that's going to be offside against the attack. And Tarian, a bit of public enemy number one when it comes to the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, we saw it in warm-ups, and it started with Luke Govro. In fact, he was the first one there, and Jacob Tarian, a guy that likes to push people, he was pushing the Barrie Colts there. Just kind of hung out right at the center ice there for a majority of the warm-up. Calvin Crombie started to come over. He started skating off, so maybe a bit of gamesmanship there from Tarian.
Well, we haven't seen too much from Jacob Tarian in this hockey game so far, but every time he's out there, that last shift, I saw Gabriel Eliasson giving a bit of a stick tap. The Attack have it back behind their own net. That's Banks. John Banks sends that one ahead. Deflected at center. Nope, they're going to say it was touched or not touched. That's an icing call now against the Attack.
We mentioned Gabriel Eliasson giving him a couple stick taps, and one thing you really notice about this Barrie Colts team is how physical their defense likes to be. Kahan Herson, Evan Passmore, and Gabriel Eliasson love laying some big hits. We saw Teague Vader earlier in this game laying a hit in the defensive zone. So the Colts, one thing about their D is they are strong.
And they do like to play that physical style. You see it with Passmore, Aitchison, Eliasson, and even we've seen that with the likes of Cole Emerton, who's been known to throw the body about. But Emerton, he is not in the lineup here this afternoon. So Moskowitz making those adjustments as we get our first penalty of the hockey game. And this is going against the Owen Sound Attack. It's going to be for a hook. So the Colts getting a power play.
Yeah, this one going against John Banks, the Owen Sound defender, and Calvin Crombie trying to come out of the zone, gets taken down. And the officials will call that one for our first power play of the game.
And this power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. As this faceoff is going to come to the left of Kaprowski. Brad Gardner set to take the draw here for the Barrie Colts. Face-off won by Gardner. The Attack, though, able to get a stick on it, send it down ice. And for the power play for the Barrie Colts, right now 16th in the OHL at 12%. And for the Owen Sound Attack, they have yet to give up a power play goal against. So they've been perfect on the penalty kill after 3 games. As Aitchison knocked down at the line, Gardner in front, and that loose puck knocked away by Roberts. Gardner to Crombie. Salandra sets up Aitchison, back to Salandra. Salandra with a shot, and Kaprowski got a piece of it. Colts after that loose puck, but it's taken away by Crawford, and he's going to clear it. Power play down to a minute 20. Entering the zone is Gardner, leaves it for Lowe. Lowe has that knock to the corner. He'll chase after it. Tristan DeLille ties him up. Battle in the corner. Arnett digs this one free for Owen Sound. He's tied up by Salandra. Lowe back to the line. Crombie. Backhand pass finds Aitchison. Kahan Aitchison right at the blue line. Will go across to Salandra as they set things up. Puck's down to Carter. Lowe, it's loose in front. Kaprowski sliding across. Keeps that pad down as he didn't know where it was for a moment after Carter Lowe's pass was deflected.
Yeah, Lowe trying to do that pass that we've seen the Barrie Colts really like to use these past few years. It really started with Bo Jelsma a couple of years ago, just trying to spin it down low between the legs. And as we can see here, it deflects off the skate of Rogers, comes back to Lowe, and as he's trying to jam it in, Kaprowski able to sneak across. Don't know if that one was actually really held down by Kaprowski, but he's able to get the whistle anyway.
Well, it was under his left skate. So I guess it was long enough that the official blew the whistle. Although Carter Lowe thought maybe he was a little too quick on that whistle, but we'll get the face-off now to the right of the Attack net. Alex Asadorian ready to take the draw here for the Barrie Colts. Scrambled face-off. Tristan DeLille able to kick it back. Now it's Armstrong. They'll send it back behind the Attack net. Schneid back to Stewart. Stewart tied up by Nancy. Tristan DeLille shorthanded skates it out for the Attack. DeLille gets by Armstrong. He's going to go around the net, hits the brakes. DeLille in a battle behind the net, taking more time off this Colts power play, which is now down to 28 seconds. Cody Stewart up to Desiderio. Puck's bouncing. Desiderio after it. Stewart trying to get a stick on it. Desiderio will force that one through back behind the Owen Sound net. Cody Stewart sets up Schneid. That got by him. Colts keeping it at the blue line. 8 seconds left in the man advantage. Desiderio back to Asadorian. Asadorian, his pass deflected, and that's going to escape the zone. And that will do it for the power play.
Armstrong didn't notice John Banks sneaking in there. Luckily, he caught it at the last minute. Banks was able to sneak behind him and force a breakaway opportunity.
Well, the Owen Sound Attack, very opportunistic. And right now, the Colts getting closer on the shot clock. It's now 7-6 in favor of Owen Sound, as Edgar will send that one deep. Kaprowski continues it along the boards. Here's Vader on the far side. Vader takes the hit, puts it back behind the Owen Sound net. Max DeLille trying to play it, tied up by Edgar. Greenberg, backhand pass, that'll escape the zone. As the Attack will get it out. Rona McCormick passes that to Eliason, up the wing. Edgar got a stick on it, that's going to go deep. No icing, so Kaprowski will play it. 3:23 left to go here in the first period, tied at 1. Sikora and Newton are goal scorers so far this afternoon. Here's Pierce Bowie. Backhand pass up to Tarian. He's got some speed across to DeLille. DeLille trying to go back, didn't control that pass cleanly, and now the Colts move it the other way. Edgar through the neutral zone. He's got McCormick. He's almost had a breakaway, but that puck rolled off his stick, and then he crashes into the corner. McCormick was tripped up. Now we've got Jaden Newton going after Pierce Bowie. Those two dropping the gloves in the corner as Newton has Bowie and giving him some body shots here as those two continue to tussle. But McCormick, he got up. He looks okay. A bit of a scary situation there. But good to see Jaden Newton standing up for his teammate.
Yeah, I don't even know if there was really any intent there by Pierce Bowie. From my angle, it looked like McCormick kind of slipped going down into the corner there and then caught, Pierce Bowie was caught at an awkward angle there as he went down the corner. But obviously, when you see your player go down like that, you're going to stand up for him, and that's exactly what Jaden Newton does, dropping the gloves with Pierce Bowie. And like I mentioned about Bowie and Therian being so physical, there's Pierce Bowie dropping the gloves.
So I don't believe there's going to be a penalty on the original play, because as you mentioned, I think McCormick may have stepped on Pierce Bowie's stick and then crashed into the board. So we may just get an instigator out of this, although nothing on the board as of yet.
Looks like the official is pointing down to the very end, though, like the faceoff will be coming that way.
Well, with our broadcast booth, we are right over the penalty box. And nobody in the box for either side, although now they're putting the number up. So Newton will get the instigator here. So the Owen Sound Attack, they're going to get their first power play of the afternoon.
Will be interesting to see this Attack power play that's been really strong to start the season. Second in power play at 35%. They went 4 for 7 last night. But with that fight, Jaden Newton did take Pierce Bowie off the ice for 5 minutes, so he won't be a part of this power play.
And the Barrie Colts penalty kill right now 7th in the OHL at 85.7%. So they've had their success as they now get a player to go in the penalty box. The player serving it will be Govro. So face off now to the right of Arvin Jaswal. Scramble draw, the Attack get it back to the blue line. It's Greenberg. He'll set up Rogers. Back to Greenberg. Near side, Sikora. Greenberg gets it again. Point, takes the shot, deflected. Jaswal the save. No, it squeaks through. Jaswal got a piece of it, but not enough. And the Owen Sound Attack, they're back in front.
Black hole is going to belong to Michael Deck. It'll be his first of the season, and it looked as though Jaswal had made the save. Greenberg with the shot from the point that gets deflected by Deck, and Jaswal stops the puck initially, but then it just keeps trickling. He never grabbed it and was able to hold on to it. So taking another look there, and the Colts, Aitchison just a second behind trying to get it off the line there, and the Attack take a 2-1 lead.
Well, you had Deck in front, but there was also, right in front was Sikora. But I do believe, as you mentioned, Deck will be given credit, but Jaswal made the original save, but that one just trickled by. So it's now 2-1 for the Owen Sound Attack. Here's the Attack again. Crawford shot off the knob of Jaswal's stick. Passmore up the middle, taken away by Crawford. Here's Mason Ray. Ray with the shots, and Jaswal at the top of the blue paint is able to make the save. As the specialty team's pretty strong for the Attack, and they're taking advantage of it.
Not what the Barrie Colts wanted, obviously. I mean, they started getting back in this game. Shots got to 7-6 there for a bit. And they were playing a bit of a stronger game until that penalty from Jaden Newton, and now they find themselves down again, looking for a quick response with only 2:22 left in the first period.
And I get it. Obviously, you want to stand up for your teammate, but then it's in that situation you put your team shorthanded, and now the attack have benefited. So a tough break for the Barrie Colts as they're going to send this one deep. Roberts back to pick it up for the attack. Bedkowski ahead. That's deflected. Tristan DeLille with possession through the neutral zone. DeLille passing that one over to Terrian. That's knocked away. Bedkowski back for Owen Sound. Carter Lowe will chase after him. Bedkowski fanned on it. He's tripped up. Salandra trying to get to that loose puck. Terrian loses his stick. Colts with possession. Carter Lowe can't handle that pass, and now it's Max DeLille skating it out. DeLille tied up by Eliasson, and that's going to be another penalty against the Barrie Colts. But now Max DeLille going after Gabriel Eliasson. Bit of a size difference there. Of course, Eliasson, 6'7", and DeLille not quite there yet.
I don't know if Max DeLille will ever get to the height of 6'7", but he makes it a bit taller over the years. And Eliasson trying to get back as DeLille tried to get an edge on him, but the puck gets away from the two of them, and Eliasson keeps going after him and takes him down, and that sets up Owen Sound's second power play of the afternoon.
You know, there's a lot of people who are probably just chuckling that we were talking about 6'7". Yep. And I'm sure my son heard that. He's probably laughing right now. I'm going to hear about it when I get home.
Unbelievable.
So Owen Sound Attacker on the power play as the Colts right away get this one down the length of the ice. 1.5 minutes left to go here in the first period. The attack forced to regroup deep in their own zone. Greenberg reaches center ice for the attack. He'll pass that one forward. Comes out of the reach of Ray. Passmore. Got a stick on it. Now the Colts will move it up. It's Schneid. William Schneid passing that one across. Stewart tips that one deep into the attack zone. He's going to peel off for a change. Just over 1 minute left to go in the first period. The attack are on the power play. Sikora carrying this one in. Nice moves there. Drops it back to Greenberg. Greenberg to Deck. One-timer blocked by Aitchison. Loose puck. And Vader able to clear it out. Aitchison chasing after it, but Kaprowski coming well out of his net to play it. Crombie trying to put on some pressure. Knocked down that pass. Crawford off the bench. Greenberg gets it back. 40 seconds left in the period. Crawford skating this one ahead. Owen Sound getting away with too many men on the ice there. And now we've got Crawford behind the play, mixing it up with Crombie. Fans upset about that. Terrian dropping it back. Picked up by Nancy. He's going to skate it back into his own zone. Harry Nancy with some speed through the neutral zone. Passing that one across. That pass deflected. Nancy back to the blue line to Banks. Banks sends it across to Terrian. He fires that one wide. Here's Banks. Sends it to the corner. Harry Nancy. That pass deflected. Rolls on net. Jaswal had to be careful there as he holds on with 2.18 seconds remaining.
Dangerous deflection there. Jaswal sliding across to get in front of the net. And then the puck kicks off a T. Pater skate and goes to the net. And like you said as well, it looked like Owen Sound had 6 players on the ice there for a little bit, but officials didn't catch it. And no penalty comes out of it.
Well, there was so much going on there as the play just bouncing in between the blue lines. And then with both teams making line changes at the same time didn't help. So they drop the puck. There's a quick shot, but that won't beat the buzzer. As now we get Crawford and Passmore mixing it up in front of the Colts net, but that'll do it for the opening period. An exciting frame, although penalties becoming a bit of a problem there for the Barrie Colts as they had that instigator to Jaden Newton, which then turned into a power play goal for the attack and ultimately gave them the lead.
Yeah, Barrie Colts got off to a bit of a slow start, but once they had found it, they were looking good. They were getting a couple offensive opportunities there. Shots were 7-6, and after that penalty, though, the shots were 5-0 for the Owen Sound Attack. A lot more the pressure was down in the Barrie end after that, and Barrie will have to get more discipline in the second period to try and get back in this hockey game.
So we're going to take a quick break as we're going to have to catch our breath a little bit after that wild first period. But when we come back, we'll catch up with Kahan Herson. Josh had an interview right before puck drop to catch up with Herson after being at the New York Islanders camp. And we will also check in with the chat. So if you have any questions or comments about the Barrie Colts or the rest of the OHL, you can always put your comments there in the section and we will answer it to the best of our ability. So after 20 minutes of play, it's a 2-1 lead for the Owen Sound Attack here at the Bayshore against the Barrie Colts. So it is the first intermission here at the Bayshore between the Barrie Colts and the Owen Sound Attack. Owen Sound right now leading on the scoreboard 2-1. It got a little feisty there at the end of the first period. Eliasson getting a little mixed up. We saw Jaden Newton drop the gloves of Pierce Bowie, and Kahan Herson also getting involved in the play quite a bit. And you actually had a chance to chat with Herson about his training camp experience.
Yeah, we just did that bit before the first period, and talking about how excited he was to be back at Barrie, as well as his experience with the New York Islanders. And how about we take a look at that now?
We're joined by Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and last night, a game that kind of got away from you guys against the Windsor.
Well, joined by Kahan Herson of the Barrie Colts. Kahan, you just returned this week to Barrie. What was it like at New York Islanders camp?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a big step, and I got the opportunity to learn a lot from the players and staff there.
Now, the Islanders only had one pick on the morning of the NHL draft. Did you have really any idea that there was a possibility you could end up there?
No, not really. Just kind of hoping to get picked by any team, and obviously landed there. So, I'm super honored.
You got the opportunity to play alongside Matthew Schaefer and Victor Eklund at rookie camp. What was it like being around a couple other first-round picks?
Yeah, we're kind of all working towards the same goal, all wanting to make the team, so we're just pushing each other to become better.
Last season, 26 goals with this Colts team. It's a Barrie Colts record. Do you have any ideas in mind to break that record yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I think I just kind of want our team to do well. I think we got a good team here. We're pretty old, and with a couple guys coming back, hopefully, we could really make some noise. So, if that comes with breaking the record again, then I'll take it. But, I'm just really focused on kind of winning an OHL championship and then a Mem Cup.
You've kind of become a veteran on the blue line now for the Colts with 3 guys moving on. What's it been like with some of the younger guys like Teague Vader, Cole Emerton, Noah Barton?
Yeah, you just try to be there for them. They're obviously young, so there's going to be some hiccups like everyone. But they've been unreal for us so far, and they've been super willing to learn, and they're gonna have a really bright future.
Now, last night against Windsor, second period was tough, but in the third period, you guys bounced back for 20 shots. What do you guys got to do to carry over that play from the third period?
I think it just starts right from the get-go. Play like that for the whole 60 minutes. Just be physical. Win puck battles, retrieve pucks from the dump in, and just make plays, get creative, and kind of have fun out there.
Ben Arebic in net. He stopped 50 shots the other night. He was pretty strong again last night. What can you say about your starting goaltender so far this year?
Yeah, he's been unreal. I think he proved it last year. He was great for us, and I just knew he was going to come into this year and be even better. And I think he's a candidate for goalie of the year. So I'm excited to see how his season turns out to be.
Well, it was a big year for you last year. Obviously, you guys made the conference finals. You also were a part of a couple of CHL top prospects games and prospect challenges. This season, how excited are you to try and work towards maybe making the World Junior team as well as going on a championship run with this Colts team?
Yeah, I think team success brings individual success. So, I think as long as I'm focusing on, winning games and doing whatever it takes to help the team, I think all the other individual accolades will come.
Well, Kahan, thanks for doing this, and welcome back to Barrie.
Thank you.
So that was Kahan Herson, Barrie Colts defenseman, coming back from the New York Islanders camp. And I got to say, it must have been something for him to have Patrick Waugh as your coach, an NHL legend. And now you have him as a coach to look forward to once you join that New York Islanders organization.
Yeah, that's one thing I forgot to ask Kahan Herson about. But yeah, Patrick Waugh is an amazing coach, and he was also an amazing junior coach as well. So not only can he coach you at the NHL level, but he can relate to what these junior guys are playing through in the moment right now. So yeah, definitely a great coach to have to start your NHL career.
So there is other action taking place this afternoon around the Ontario Hockey League. So let's take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard before we check in with the chat.
Yeah, so 3 games going on right now. The North Bay Battalion are hosting the Kingston Frontenacs. It's Kingston up 2-1 in that one. A battle between the Flint Firebirds and the Sarnia Sting. Have the Sting up 3-0. Both those games are in the first period. Ottawa and Sault Ste. Marie will be getting underway in about 15 minutes. And then tonight at 6:05, the Windsor Spitfires, who were in Barrie last night, head down to Oshawa to take on the Generals for our nightcap tonight.
And this week, Ben Pickle, the former Barrie Colt, was traded from Kingston to Sarnia, and now suddenly the Sarnia Sting have figured out how to score.
It's all because of Pickle. What can I say? Those Pickle guys probably went down there in the Pickle costumes from last season, and they just straightened all them out, and now they're an offensive juggernaut.
Yeah, so it's the Sting are a team that's got such great young talent, and just seeing them off to that slow start, no wins in the preseason, and then 0-3 to start before beating Sudbury, and now with that 3-0 lead in that hockey game against Flint, great to see. So we're about 9.5 minutes away from the start of the second period, and I want to thank those who are tuning in to the broadcast, our very first official road broadcast for the Barrie Colts, as we're bringing back Colts radio, something that, to my understanding, has never been done before. And since it's on YouTube, we do have the ability to have a chat and to interact with fans from the Barrie Colts and across the Ontario Hockey League. And first off, Lee saying this is amazing. The Colts need a radio broadcast from the road for ages. So glad, Lee, that you're able to tune in. I know that at the Saddlein Arena, there was quite a few times where people are wondering, why don't we have a road radio broadcast? Because every other team in the Ontario Hockey League has had a road radio broadcast, and that kind of got the ball rolling. And with the channel here from the booth with Mike, we've been covering the Ontario Hockey League. It was kind of like, why don't we put the games on the channel? So it's been working so far, and Gene Pereira will be joining us for future road broadcasts. And it's great to have Josh McCann. You were here for the first 2 tests in the preseason. So it's just a natural fit.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's something different, obviously, than we're used to. I know you used to do some radio, but it's a bit of an adjustment, of course. When you're doing a TV broadcast, usually you have replays and you got about 10 people in your ear telling you different stuff, but we're just making our stuff up on the fly and kind of just trying to remember what happened in the play as we don't really have a monitor for replays here.
And we get to experience different press boxes. And here at the Bayshore, it's a cozy booth. And you probably saw in the background the video coach for the Barrie Colts running back as we're pretty in tight quarters up here in the box. And actually, I got told by the arena staff, you need to put up the American flag because we've got the flags right here at center ice. So it's a unique experience, and we're glad we're able to do that here on the channel. Now, Zachary saying, I'm happy about the leadership group for the Steelheads, and I'm quite excited that we've got quite the following from Brampton. And, the leadership group was just announced for the Steelheads. And, having Zabeski named as the captain, I think that's a good decision. And Parker Von Richter, I think he's my favorite player name to call right now in the OHL. And I'm glad to see that he's also getting some recognition with the assistant captain.
Well, yeah, Parker Von Richter just spent some time at the Edmonton Oilers camp as well. He did Boston last year. So that's a guy with a potential future in the NHL. And yeah, the Brampton Steelers have been a pretty surprising team as well to start the season. After seeing all the guys they lost to the NCAA, some of these players that are returning from last year, like Zabeski, like Fibiger, like Chariot and Von Richter, have had to step up, and they have so far to a 2-2 record, including beating the London Knights.
Well, I was just about to bring that up because the big shock around the OHL is how the London Knights are still winless after 4 games. They had a lead last night against the Erie Otters, and then Erie came back to win in overtime. So we're not used to seeing London at the bottom of the Western Conference standings. It's only 4 games. Obviously, things are going to come together for this team. They got a lot of veterans and players coming back from the National Hockey League, but still, it's a shock. And Brampton able to add to that losing total.
Well, to be fair, London, they did start 1-3 last season as well, but I think there's a bit more panic this year because there isn't as many star players coming back. None of the losses last year for the London Knights caused any panic because there were so many good players on this team. You knew they were going to be fine. And it kind of started with this Owen Sound Attack team. London came out and they looked pretty strong. They went up 2-0, and people kind of worrying, it doesn't even matter that they lose 20 guys. They're just going to be great again anyway. But Owen Sound coming back in that game has really set up the Knights to go on this 4-game losing streak.
And Paul says, I wonder if you'll do across the border radio broadcast. I know it's early in the season. I would like to see the Colts do the same thing as last year, a long time to go. And Paul, the plan is we're doing all 34 road games for the Barrie Colts as they go out on the road. So that includes the stops in Erie, Saginaw, and Flint. So we were talking with Dylan Smoskowitz pregame actually about the road broadcast, and he was saying how excited he is to have brought the media here. It gives that other experience for the Barrie Colt players. So the plan right now, we're going to be going on all the road games. Our first U.S.-bound trip will be Erie, Pennsylvania, when they do the Erie-Niagara trip. So I haven't been down in Erie in 10 years, and that's probably one of my favorite rinks, just the atmosphere. I know you haven't been there yet, so maybe we'll see if we can get you to tag along.
We'll try. The one I'm really excited about is Saginaw. That seems like a really cool place to go. I mean, they did such a great job a few years ago with the Memorial Cup. I've heard some good things about the media room there as well. It sounds like they got some good stuff cooking in there, and as well, they should have some really good players like Michael Misa to watch in action.
Now, we might want to add here that you're in a fantasy football league with Dave Drinkle, who happens to be the general manager of the Saginaw Spirit.
An interesting comment on that. Dave and I do fantasy baseball and fantasy football together.
Oh, my.
Last day of the baseball season, I'm a point behind him for first place, and we're also playing each other right now in fantasy football.
So that's why he said he's looking forward to the Saginaw trip. Braden, I just tuned in. Sounds really good, guys. Well, thank you, Braden, for tuning in. Lee says, do you have pie and cookies there?
You had a cookie.
I had a cookie. And the great thing about coming to Owen Sound, it's such a friendly place. The staff in the media room, very accommodating. And yeah, they had fresh cookies. So yes, Lee, I did have a cookie, but there were no pies.
I had a donut. It was really good. You know what else was really good is all the food in there. I mean, shout out to the Owen Sound media room staff because they did a great job. They're very friendly and welcoming, and Man, that barbecue beef sandwich is really good.
Now, JC Coots, he's doing the play-by-play for Rogers TV, Owen Sound. I was talking to him before tonight, and he told me that the French fries are the best in the OHL here at the Bayshore. We've not been able to try the French fries as of yet. Maybe another trip we'll have to do that. But every rink has its charm, and the cookies were great, but apparently the fries are even better here in Owen Sound. And Zachary says, you guys are doing great. Well, we appreciate that, Zachary. And we weren't sure coming into this one, especially when you're making the drive from Barrie to Owen Sound, because it's no 400 series highway. So you're going through all the small towns, and you're seeing on the GPS that the time's growing a little bit. So it was a little stressful at times, but we made it here. We got our internet connection set up. Shout out to the Owen Sound Attack crew here in the booth to hook us up to make sure that we're able to get this live stream going.
Yeah, no doubt. We almost had a tractor incident on the way as well, but we ended up avoiding that. Yeah, it looks like the coaches are about to hit the ice, and the second period's about to get underway. So just a few more minutes here to go through, and yeah, it was a good trip up, and it's been a great game so far.
Yeah, and right now the Barrie Colts trailing the Owen Sound Attack by a score of 2-1. Also have to give a nod to the city of Owen Sound because they did the renovations here at the Bayshore. Brand new floor, brand new boards. They even improved the lighting here, so the Bayshore is looking pretty special right now. It was one of those dimly lit buildings before, but now coming to a game at the Bayshore is quite the event.
Yeah, I've had no complaints about the light. It feels really bright in here. They did a really great job with this place, and it's one of the more cozier environments because you're just in a community center and there's a bunch of people around, and it's really fun to be here in Owen Sound.
Yep. So we do have the players out on the ice. So we're going to get ready to go here for the second period of play. A minute and a half remaining on the scoreboard. But for the Barrie Colts, they're going to be shorthanded to start the second period. Gabriel Eliasson still 18 minutes left to serve. I know that was one thing when I talked with Marty Williamson just before the season. He was saying how Eliasson has really stepped up his game, and he was hoping that maybe the penalties would be far and fewer between. But Eliasson, this is just his first penalty minutes of the season so far. And I think at this point last year, he was already up to maybe, 10 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. That number just kept growing and growing, it seemed, last year. And when you're as big as Gabriel Eliasson is at 6'7", you kind of take a lot of more undisciplined penalties without trying to when you don't know how to use that big frame of yours. And looks like he's slowly starting to figure that out. I mean, like you said, only his first penalty in his third game of the season. So pretty strong start for Eliasson to the season. We saw him fire a shot home for the Colts' only goal last night. So maybe some improvement as well in his offensive game.
Yeah, that was a beautiful goal, too, in the third period. Picks up the puck at the point, skates right down the middle, and picked off the corner behind Joey Costanzo. So I'm sure for Dylan Smoskowitz and the coaching staff, they'll want to see more of that from Eliasson. But right now, we're going to get ready for the second period of play. It's a 2-1 score for the Owen Sound Attack. They're on the ice just waiting for the officials to drop the puck, and we can get this game back underway. But, yeah, this Owen Sound Attack team doing a great job so far on the power play here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And, they went 4 for 7 yesterday. They're 1 for 1 today. They have 18 seconds to get on the board again. Here, also another note, Pierce Bowie and Jaden Nuke as well sitting in the box. They have a couple minutes left on their fighting majors.
So the second period back underway. The Attack get the puck into the cold zone. Far side, that's Max DeLille. Tristan DeLille takes it from him. Puck goes down low behind the net. Jacob Tarian. Sending it back to Tristan DeLille. DeLille behind the Colts net. Passes in front. Blocked by Aitchison. Eliasson's back on the ice. So the power plays come to an end. Eliasson 3-on-1 here for Barrie. Eliasson to Crombie. Crombie shots, and that goes over the net. That puck is going to sail all the way back into the Colts zone. Take Vader there to collect it. Vader being tied up there by Tarian. He's run into the boards. Tristan DeLille will collect it now for the Attack. Back to the point. Bedkowski takes their shot. That one off a teammate. And the Colts will take this one out. Calvin Crombie through the neutral zone. Crombie stopped at the blue line. The Colts have to peel back. Vader up the wing. Crombie receives the pass. Trying to keep it. Crombie passing that one over to Vader. That got away from him, and the Attack will move it up. Crawford through the neutral zone. Jake Crawford on his backhand. Sends to the net. Jaswal makes the save. Wasn't much of a shot from Crawford. Salantra knocked down through the neutral zone. Roberts up to Ray. He got a piece of it, so no icing. Jaswal continues it around. Nancy on the far side. He'll pick this one up. His pass deflected. Colts trying to get it out. That's kept in. Crawford has it again for the attack. His pass nearly picked off by Salandra. Puck's in the corner. Nancy in front. That got away from him. There's the shot from the point. Jaswal the save. Puck's loose. They jam away at it, and Jaswal somehow able to hold on to that one as he had Crawford right on the doorstep.
Boy, just was able to sneak that glove out there. It looked like Crawford was going to be able to tap that one in as it got loose, but Jaswal able to get enough of it. And Joe Salandra nearly had a breakaway opportunity here at the point as the pass was going across to our net, and Salandra tried to get in front of it. He was able to knock it down to nearly cause the turnover, but if he'd gotten that cleanly, he would have been home free back the other way.
Yeah, and Joe Salandra right now leading the Colts in scoring a goal and 2 assists, as it's been a great start to his OHL career. Puck's at center ice, picked up by Sikora. Sikora to the net, takes the shot, stopped by Jaswal. Desiderio will collect it here for the Colts. Through the neutral zone, he's tripped up. That's going to be a penalty. As the puck goes into the attack zone, they touch it. And we'll get the call here. It's going to be for a trip, and the Colts are going on the power play.
Yeah, Michael Deck going to the box there as Desiderio was coming forward. Tripped him up. Desiderio heading up the wing, and Deck gets the stick in there. And he wasn't a fan of the call, but it looked pretty clear that he tripped him there. And then Gabe Eliason was causing a bit of drama. Head back to the bench. He got a couple shoves to him.
And this power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can check them out at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. Power play underway. The Colts forced to come back to their own blue line. Kahan Herson. That bounces on him at center ice. Salandra there to help him out. Passing that one forward to Carter Lowe. Bedkowski sends that one down the ice. The attack quickly clear the zone. 1:36 left to go on the power play for the Colts. Jaswal will send that one ahead to Gardner. Colts are going to take this one back behind their own net. Kahan Herson will set things up. Herson reaches his blue line. He's going to drop this one back. Salandra peels back. Crawford, good work here on the penalty kill, really preventing Colts from getting anywhere. Salandra sets up Gardner. Gardner dumps this one in for Barrie. That one knocked down by Roberts. Puck comes back to the point, and that'll escape the zone. Chasing after here is Mason Ray, shorthanded. Lowe will cut him off. Puck sent to an open wing. Crombie's there, being chased by Tristan DeLille. Crombie back behind his own net. Colts having some difficulties setting things up on this power play, down to 50 seconds remaining. Kahan Herson passing that one ahead to Desiderio. Desiderio with the shots, and Kaprowski makes the glove save.
Nice save there by Kaprowski, and not a lot of opportunity there for the Barrie Colts to begin this power play, so they'll look for this next 44 seconds to be a bit better than what we saw in the first half of it. That was the first shot of the power play.
And Pierce Bowie back on the attack bench as he was getting some stick taps there after dropping the gloves with Jaden Newton in the first period. Now we get the face-off to the right of Kaprowski. Face-off won by the Colts. Desiderio will pass that one over, but that's knocked away by Max DeLille. Colts forced to regroup once more. 32 seconds still in this power play. Armstrong through center. Stop there at the middle. Stewart follows it up, however. He's going to send this one deep. Rogers behind the attack net. Quickly gets this one out. It's time running out on this man advantage. Give credit to the attack. Their power play remains perfect to start the season. Schneid picks it up in the neutral zone for the Barrie Colts. His pass blocked. Arnett gets to it. Max DeLille. And the power play has come to an end. Here's Deck out of the box. Deck to the net. Shot stopped by Jaswal. Rebound comes back to the point. Kept in by Greenberg. Armstrong behind his own net. He'll send this one forward. Colts trying to get it out. Picked up by Nelson. Colts, though, send it deep. However, that's going to be an icing call against Barrie.
Well, the Owen Sound Attack were almost able to take a 3-1 lead there on the stick of Michael Deck, looking for his second of the afternoon. And he was able to sneak out of the box, and I don't think the Colts defenders really realized he was coming up the wing. Ethan Armstrong wasn't able to get back in time. Deck got around them, tried to go glove side there on Jaswal, who was able to get the pad out and make another save there. Jazzwall now 15-17 on the afternoon.
So face-off coming to the right of Arvin Jazzwall. Colts will win this one cleanly. Armstrong gets it down the ice. And that one's going to be another icing against the Barrie Colts. It's kind of like what we saw last night against the Windsor Spitfires with a number of icing calls against Barrie. As the second period hasn't been too kind to Barrie in recent games.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like they can't really get anything going, and they're just kind of sending the puck down the ice, whether it's dumping and chasing or icing it.
Face off to the right of Jazzwall once again. Jacob Therrien set to take the draw here against Schneid. Schneid will win this face off. Stewart had a stick on it. Puck goes to the corner. Bodie Stewart up ahead. Desiderio will find Asadorian. Now Asadorian trying to get around Banks to the net. Kaprowski got a paddle on it. Jackman collects it for the attack. Can't get it past McCormick. In the neutral zone. Asadorian will collect it here for the Colts. Alex Asadorian. Passing that one over. Passmore's shot deflected wide. The attack will pick this one up, but we're going to get a whistle here. Another penalty as there was a crowd in front of Kaprowski, but now we've got a Colt player being smothered there by Greenberg. That's Govro mixing it up with Greenberg.
Well, it started with Jonah McCormick and Jacob Therrien doing Jacob Therrien things, and I don't know if Therrien even got a penalty. I know the hand initially went up for Jonah McCormick with his response, but Therrien then gave him a bit of a punch, so maybe he got a penalty as well. Maybe even Govro as well. Govro came in to try and help out after Greenberg, and then Therrien stuck with it, but McCormick went to the box, and so Evan Passmore ended up in there as well, and the parade to the penalty box going on. So Aitchison and Betkowski going to have to come over here and figure out what's going on.
Well, I know they did renovations here at the Bayshore, but they did not expand the penalty box. So it's some very tight quarters right now with Newton, Passmore, and Govro, especially with Passmore sitting right in the middle.
Well, no one in the Owen Sound box.
Okay, Sean Aitchison right now trying to understand what's going on here as the officials having their conversation right below our broadcast booth. And we're still waiting for something to go on the board here, but it looks as though the attack will at least get the power play. As we're still waiting for confirmation as to how this is all playing out.
Looks like he's grabbing Lenny Greenberg here. And maybe one more.
Yeah, it looks like Therrien.
So Greenberg, Therrien, Passmore, and Govro will probably get quintessential penalties, and then McCormick maybe is the extra penalty to Barrie, setting up an Owen Sound power play.
Well, we saw this Thursday night. Therrien and Crombie, when they were in the penalty box, the timekeeper actually had to tell them to sit down multiple times, as Therrien does not look too pleased with this penalty. As the officials still having a meeting about this.
Well, there's a blockage between the two boxes this time, so we're all clear on that. What we're not clear on, though, is there's a bit of open area between the glass where the fans are, and we got a little kid trying to play his monster trucks into the goal penalty box right now.
Oh, that's adorable.
Better watch his hands. Jaden Newton's stick is pretty close there.
Well, we're still waiting for the penalties to be on the board, and the linesmen giving their 2 cents as to what they saw. So we've got Govro and Passmore from that last play as they're having words now with Jacob Therrien.
If we were a bit lower, we could probably hear exactly what was being said right now.
Well, maybe we need to add that to the broadcast, a microphone, so we can dip it down to the penalty box. We can kind of hear what they're saying.
We can hear words. We just don't know what the words are. I highly doubt we'd be able to repeat them anyway.
Probably shouldn't have that on here, but... But, yeah, they're still having their conversation. But, yeah, still nothing on the board. Kahan Herson now getting the explanation. He doesn't look too impressed.
Jaden Newton getting involved now in the yellow match. Therrien's standing up. I'm not even shocked.
I'm thinking back to the days he was playing with the North Bay Battalion. I remember him throwing big hits with North Bay, but I never remember him being so vocal in the penalty box.
Oh, I mean, all the penalties on Thursday. Now he's getting involved here tonight, and then the other 2 games he has misconduct. But credit to him as well. You know what? When he's on the ice, he scores the goals. So I guess Owen Sound will take the trade-off.
Well, he had the misconduct in the game in London and then scored the overtime winner. And then I understand he had another misconduct last night against Kitchener, and the Attack got the big win there. But they are still jawing at one another. And we're seeing that it's going to be 5-on-5, so they're coincidental penalties, so they counter each other.
Interestingly enough, McCormick didn't end up getting a penalty there. I thought the hand was initially raised for him, but now we're going to get another penalty. Carter Lowe going into the box for a slash. Mike, do you want me to take this the whole way? Or do you want to talk?
You know what? Well, it's Salandra.
Oh.
It's going to be for a hook.
Okay, so Salandra and Stell Lowe. Is he going to be able to sit down in there?
We've now got 4 guys in the penalty box. Salandra, Govro, Passmore, Newton. And the penalty box here at the Bayshore is not big.
Well, Newton should be coming out soon from that 10-minute misconduct.
So now the Owen Sound Attack are going on the power play as a result of that hook from Joe Salandra. Can we play some hockey now?
We're going to try.
Well, here comes Carter Lowe, short-handed. He has it behind the Owen Sound net. Goes around, scores! Carter Lowe, short-handed, does it himself. What a goal from the Colts forward, and we're now tied at 2.
Well, I think he caught Matthew Kaprowski a bit off guard there. What a shot from Carter Lowe, a guy we've seen for the Barrie Colts make plays out in front, and he'll wrap it around the net, and Kaprowski wasn't expecting it as Crawford was kind of leaning in on Lowe, thought maybe he passed to Gardner, but spins, fires the shot, and that's what the Colts need, a short-handed goal to maybe get them going in this one.
What a great goal. Carter Lowe tying this game at 2. That's his 2nd of the season. And the power play continues here for the Attack. Rogers reaches center ice. He's going to pass that one across. Owen Sound will dump it in. Aitchison behind his own net. That's kept in at the point by Deck. Ahead. That's deflected. Good work there by Bodie Stewart. Puck just kept in at the blue line. Sikora back to Rogers. Rogers across to Ray. His shot was blocked. The Attack player had a stick break. He's going to run off to the bench, get an extra twig. Puck comes the near side, Sikora. He'll keep this one in. Sikora, his pass across, finds Ray. Back to Rogers. Rogers with a shot blocked, ends up in the corner. Eliasson's there. Colts get it to the line and out. Here comes Schneid up to Aitchison, short-handed. Kahan Herson, shot stop, rebound, and not able to get to it with Schneid. Now the Attack, take it back the other way. It's Mason Ray on the wing. Takes the shot, stopped by Jaswal. Rebound picked up by Deck. That pass deflected. Sikora will get to it. Takes the shot, stopped by Jaswal. The Attack, move it back to the blue line. Sikora over to Rogers. Rogers sets up Ray. Ray across to Sikora. Sikora takes the shot, stopped by Jaswal. Loose puck. Deck can't get to get it to go. Sikora back at the point. Waits, fires, and that one's deflected, and that will hit the roof. And we'll get a whistle with 20 seconds left in the power play for Owen Sound.
Good opportunities on both sides. The Colts almost got another 3-on-1 opportunity there, shorthanded. And Kahan Herson tried to go blocker side there on Kaprowski, and looked like Kaprowski had a bit of trouble with it. Couldn't really gather it. Owen Sound came back the other way, set up a couple chances, mainly led by Nicholas Sikora there. He fired a shot in on Arvin Jaswal from the point, and that kind of got things set up for the Attack to get a few chances.
Well, the Barrie Colts, just 10 shots to their credit so far. But shorthanded, looking okay here in the second period as Banks gets it off the faceoff. Passing that one over to Bedkowski. Bedkowski across, trying to find Bowie, but that pass doesn't connect, and the Barrie Colts will clear it. Kaprowski will get it off the end boards. They'll leave it there for Banks. Power play about to expire. Salandra will come out of the penalty box. Tristan DeLille on the wing takes the hard hit there from Hanser. Vader from behind his own net. Trying to protect that puck. Nearly had his pocket picked, and the power play has come to an end. And now the Barrie Colts will send it down ice, and that's going to be an icing call with 12:45 remaining here in the second period, and we are tied at 2.
So those players coming out of the box now, Luke Govro sticking around here, talking to Jacob Darian. We saw those two get after it before the game. Just looking on the OHL website, the official calls there. Govro, Passmore, Greenberg, all 2 minutes for roughing. And then Jacob Darian gets 2 minutes for slashing.
So a little bit of everything.
Yep.
So after all that, we're going to get some 5-on-5 hockey as we're now at the TV timeout. But what a game it has been here tonight. And the Barrie Colts in the last two games have had issues getting goals. Just one goal against Windsor last night, one goal against Owen Sound Thursday, and now we're seeing two here. So a positive sign here if you're Dylan Smoskowitz and the coaching staff.
I think it's also positive who you're getting the goals from. Jaden Newton and Carter Lowe are two guys that the Barrie Colts had last season and would love them to take that step forward this year into quality OHL players. And Newton, a really nice shot in the slot to get the Colts tied at one earlier in the game. And then Carter Lowe, a beautiful spinning snipe over top of Matthew Kaprowski to tie the game again. And now the Colts, they've just killed off this power play. I'm sure they'd love to get the puck off this draw. They're facing the Owen Sound fourth line here and try and get some stuff going.
So the face-off will come to the right of Arvin Jaswal. Taking the draw will be Brad Gardner. He'll win this face-off. Anzer sends it across, finds Lowe. Up the middle, Salandra. He skates it into the Owen Sound zone. Salandra peeling back, staying with it. Joe Salandra with a shot. Kaprowski the save, and he's able to make the glove save and doesn't give up a rebound with Carter Lowe right in front.
Well, nice job by both Lowe and Salandra there. Salandra able to get into the inside of Noah Roberts to get that long feed from Carter Lowe. Didn't have the speed to get past Roberts and set up a breakaway, but still gets in the zone and then fires a pass across, and Kaprowski makes another save.
So get this face-off now to the right of Kaprowski. The Colts having a bit of a huddle as Asadorian takes the draw. He'll win it over to Crombie. At the point, Aitchison takes the shot. Save, rebound, they jam it in. Calvin Crombie on the doorstep. It's just as they had planned it, I'm sure. And it's now 3-2.
Oh, more physicality. David Bukowski taking a shot at Kahan Herson. But Aitchison, nice job there, getting the puck out in front, and Calvin Crombie doing what Calvin Crombie does, getting into that crease of Matthew Kaprowski and is able to deflect it home. And as I said, off that power play, or penalty kill, you want to get some opportunities flowing for the Barrie Colts, try and get their first lead of the afternoon, and they have it here, making it 3-2.
And again, it's a different goal scorer. It's your veteran, Calvin Crombie, and for him, that's a second of the season, the pickup in the offseason from the Brantford Bulldogs. So the Barrie Colts, their first lead of the night. And they're not done. It's Kahan Herson with a shot deflected over the net. Desiderio had it in front. He runs over Kaprowski. He's behind the net. Kaprowski will cover it up. The fans booing. They want a penalty. As Nicholas Desiderio going after the puck, and he just bowled over the Owen Sound goaltender.
Yeah, that Aitchison shot gets deflected by Desiderio, and it just goes wide of the net, though. And as Desiderio's going to retrieve the puck, he kind of just takes Kaprowski with him as it goes over top of the post, and then looks like he may have got pushed from behind into him, and then the skate pad collide, and Kaprowski comes flying out of the net. And luckily for Owen Sound, Kaprowski able to dive on it, because if Desiderio gets that one free and puts it out in front, you've got 5 players just going to have to try and dive into the net to save their goaltender.
Well, it was Elliot Arnett who was right behind Desiderio, and as you mentioned, it looked like there may have been a push, and then Kaprowski didn't really help either. He was sticking out that right arm, kind of, I'm holding, but I'm not holding Desiderio as he's trying to get that loose puck. But no penalty as a result, so it remains 5-on-5. Face-off, picked up here by the Attack. Arnett in the corner, sends it ahead to Crawford. That gets by him. Nancy able to follow it up. Terry Nancy will dump it in. Jaswal, he'll play it at the side of the net. McCormick chips that one ahead up to Schneid. Schneid had his pocket picked by Crawford. Crawford shot the crossbar. Oh my goodness, nearly a 3-3 hockey game. Rogers shot stopped by Jaswal. They're probably going to review that last chance from Crawford, but the Attack still with it. Rogers takes the shots, and that one's going to go out of play. But Crawford looked like he nearly tied the game. He had the top shelf to work with, but strikes iron, or at least that's what it looked like to us up here.
He came through the middle, fires that shot right off the top of the bar. He's able to stick lift William Schneid there, gets free. There's no defender up the middle. So all the Owen Sound players were up higher in the zone, and right off that top crossbar there from that angle didn't look like it went in.
So the Owen Sound Attack, they could challenge, and we saw this last night where Greg Walters and the Spitfires challenged the Eliasson goal last night, and the challenge was unsuccessful. And now the new rule in the OHL is that if you have an unsuccessful challenge, it's then a penalty. But they're looking at the tablet still in the Owen Sound bench trying to decide. But I think they're gonna let this go. So face off to the left of Arvin Jaswal. Won by the Attack. Greenberg sends it down low to Crawford. He's tied up. Bouncing in front. Nancy couldn't get to it in time. Banks at the point. Blocked there by Asadorian. Asadorian chips that one ahead. The alley-oop pass to Crombie, trying to catch up to it, but Kaprowski able to corral it. And he'll hold on. But now you got Crawford going after Crombie, and Crombie just casually putting the glove to his face, and I think they're both getting penalties.
Well, it started with Crombie trying to get that alley-oop pass. Nice play by Asadorian. Started with blocking that pass at the blue line and then bringing it out of the zone. He had Crombie flipped it out. As Crawford will go to the box as well as Calvin Crombie. And Crombie, maybe a little bit of a touch on Kaprowski there with the stick that aggravated Crawford. I don't know for sure. I thought I maybe saw 10 hands up, like maybe there'd be a 10-minute misconduct coming out of this.
Unless it's just going to be 5-on-5 still.
You're right. My apologies.
But, oh no, I think it's going to be 4-on-4 because they've got the penalties listed on the board.
Only one, though, for Owen. No, 4-on-4?
No, it's going to be 4-on-4. Right now, head coach Scott Ray getting an explanation from the official. We can get this game back underway. Face off to the right of Kaprowski. So it's a 4-on-4 situation for 4 minutes. Bedkowski, long pass ahead for Deck. Deck on the wing. Cuts to the middle, takes the shot, blocked by Aitchison. Colts get it out. Bedkowski picks it up at his own blue line. He's got Gardner there on the forecheck. Loose puck, Carter Lowe can't get to it in time as Roberts had a hard time with that pass. Bedkowski from his own zone. Good work here on the forecheck by Carter Lowe. He's having a great game here this afternoon. Rogers trying to skate it ahead. Lowe reaching for it. Puck stopped at the Colts blue line. Sikora will come out to center. Bedkowski has it in his skates. Gardner trying to poke it. Vader in front of the bench. Goes to Gardner, delayed offside. Puck's at center. Now it's a breakaway for Sikora. Sikora on net. Forehand. Stopped by Jaswal. What a save by Arvin Jaswal. Now the Colts come the other way. Aitchison sends that to the corner. Gardner couldn't get to it in time. That's going to go around. Greenberg comes out from behind the net, loses an edge, collides with Bedkowski. Attack, though, still able to get it out. Picked off at center by Gardner. Brad Gardner flips that one ahead, trying to go to Edgar. That got by him. Arnett lost sight of it. That's center ice. Aitchison. That's picked off by Tristan DeLille. Aitchison going after it again. Aitchison falls over. It's inside the Attack blue line. Near boards now, it's Greenberg. Greenberg carrying it in for Owen Sound. Takes the shot, stopped by Jaswal, and he'll pounce on that. Taking away that chance. And, of course, after the whistle, it's a meeting of the minds once again between these two.
Well, it's funny how much we've seen that already this season, considering the Barrie Colts are on a run of Western Conference teams. And I think they got one more game against the Sioux Greyhounds on Thursday before they wrap that up. But what a save by Arvin Jaswal. The pass ahead to score was knocked down by a pair of Barrie Colts and Aitchison and Gardner, but it just deflected over their sticks to Sikora. Breaks in, decides to go to the left side of the net, and Jaswal able to stick the pad out to somehow make that save.
Well, you mentioned the scheduling. Yeah, they have got the Sioux Greyhounds Thursday, and the first Eastern Conference opponent, the Oshawa Generals on Saturday. So a run of Western Conference opponents here for the Colts. Is there's a shot from Hanser, but that's deflected and will go right into the roof of the Bayshore.
always interesting when the Colts and Generals meet up. They played the last 2 years in the playoffs, and a lot of new players on both teams this year. Oshawa, not really the same team as last year. Barrie still trying to figure themselves out this year, but last season it seemed like every time those teams faced, it was either a 2-1 goalie battle or a 6-5 just crazy game with a ton of fighting and penalty minutes.
It's definitely a matchup. Those two teams do not like each other since meeting in the playoffs in the last 2 years, especially in the conference final last year. Here's Joe Salandra in the attack zone, reaches for it, poked it to Kaprowski, but that got away. And then Crombie, a big hit on Tristan DeLille. Puck escapes to center ice. Arnett collecting it now for Owen Sound. Hands are trying to hit Arnett, but Arnett gets the better of him. Puck's in the zone. Terrian, his shot blocked by Armstrong. Jacob Terrian behind the Colts net. That puck gets away from him. Armstrong for the Colts. Gets that one out to center ice, knocked down by Rogers. Tristan DeLille, backhand pass, finds Terrian. Terrian with the shot, blocked. Getting in the way of that was Armstrong. Another chance in front, scores! Pierce Bowie all alone in front of the nets. He just had to tap that one in. And this game is tied at 3.
Well, nice play to start that off by Ethan Armstrong. Getting down to block that shot from Terrian. Terrian had to decide between shooting and passing it across to Pierce Bowie. But Alex Asadorian slid out trying to keep Bowie from getting the pass. And as he was trying to get up, he kept gliding into the boards, and that left Bowie alone out front on the rebound. And Terrian was able to find him for the tap-in. And kind of similar to that Barrie Colts third goal, a bit of a tap-in. And we're tied at 3 here with 8 minutes left in the second.
And that's the first of the season for Pierce Bowie. And a great setup by Jacob Terrian. This game, it's a clean slate once again, tied at 3. As this game just keeps going back and forth. The attack sending this one ahead, picked off. Bodie Stewart shot, that's deflected, side of the net. Passmore, but he fanned on it. The attack, get this one ahead. Max DeLille on the far side, stopped by Eliasson. Bedkowski will find Jackman on the wing. Jackman across. There's the shot, stopped by Jaswal. Big rebound. Attack again, put that over the net. This time Bedkowski. Max DeLille takes the shot. That's wide, side of the net. Jackman trying to get to it for Owen Sound. He's tied up by Passmore. Eliasson. Pass that ahead to McCormick. McCormick up to Schneid. 2-on-1 developing here for the Barrie Colts. Schneid cuts to the middle, stays with it towards the net. Didn't really take a shot as he was looking for Bodie Stewart in front of the net, but
here we go again.
Yeah, and Gabriel Eliasson in the middle of it, and I think he's going to be getting one of the penalties as him and Nelson are tied up. And then Max DeLille and William Schneid.
Well, it started with Bodie Stewart coming in, getting a little touch on Kaprowski again, and that just seems to be the theme of this one. Eliasson's heading to the box, and it doesn't look like any Owen Sound player is joining him.
And they're calling it interference. I don't think it'd be goaltender interference, but Eliasson slamming his stick on the glass. He does not agree with this call.
Well, it was after the play, so shouldn't they all be called for interference?
You would think. But this is going to be the 4th power play of the night for Owen Sound. They're already 1 for 3 on the man advantage. As Gabriel Eliasson, not a happy camper right now in that penalty box. Face off to the right of Jaswal, won by the attack. Tristan DeLille trying to dig this one free. Goes back to the corner. Carter Lowe, he'll just send this one down the ice. Banks, first one on it for Owen Sound. Gardner pokes it away. Gardner from behind the net trying to wrap around, but the puck got away from him. And that's going to be a penalty for a trip. So Brad Gardner takes it to the nets, and that will draw a penalty. And there goes the Owen Sound Attack power play is heading to the box. This time is John Banks.
Well, good job by Brad Gardner there as came in the zone, had the puck, and he was able to beat Banks to the front of the net, trying to put it home, and may have been able to if Banks didn't take him down there. Colts penalty kill has been pretty strong tonight, 2 for 3, but they also have a shorthanded goal, and they've drawn a penalty.
Yeah, nearly got a second shorthanded goal there. The first one was from Carter Lowe, and then Brad Gardner Really getting one there himself. Face-off won by the Attack as it's 4-on-4 hockey for 1:34. We have just over 7 minutes left to go in what has been a wild second period at the Bayshore. Crawford enters the zone for Owen Sound. Stick handling his way, sends it up to Nancy. Harry Nancy trying to protect that puck, keeps it at the point. Crawford has the lane to the net, shot, scores! Jake Crawford goes top shelf on Jaswal, and the Attack are back in front.
Well, nice play there by Harry Nancy as Aitchison and T. Vader got caught trying to come out of the zone quickly. And Crawford was able to sneak in behind them, and Nancy able to get the pass past them. Vader all over Nancy, and then Aitchison steps up as well. And then Crawford thinks about coming with everyone, but holds back. Nancy gets it down there, and Crawford all alone, able to beat Jaswal on the blocker side.
So that's now 3 goals on the season for Jake Crawford. As this Owen Sound Attack team, they're a gritty bunch. They don't give up. As they now have the lead back. So the 4-on-4 situation continues for another minute here. Battle in the Owen Sound zone picked up by Salandra. Salandra passing it to Gardner. Gardner peeling it around. Trying to cut to the middle. Gardner takes the shot, stopped by Kaprowski. As Brad Gardner sneaking around in the offensive end, nearly getting one.
Well, nice job there. It had 2 defenders on him in Sikora and Noah Roberts, and he was able to sneak through both of them, trying to put a shot on net. Gardner's had a strong start to the year, 2 goals in the first 2 games, including one against Owen Sound, and was looking to keep that up. Barrie Colts looking for offense out of some players, needing more offense out of guys from last season. Gardner, a solid year last year with 18 goals, but would love his first 20-goal campaign.
Colts win the face-off. Armstrong shot, scores! Ethan Armstrong gets his first career OHL goal. And the Colts have tied it at 4.
Well, I remember last year, Ethan Armstrong had his first 2 games were a bit rough, had a couple things not go his way, but I remember his 3rd game at the Sadlin Arena was really impressive, and he kind of stuck around with this Barrie Colts team. A nice shot from the point that goes over top of Kaprowski, and not only credit to Armstrong on that goal, credit to Dylan Smoskowitz in the way that he has moved his young D-men around, and he's taken a couple of them out of the lineup, and we're going to have a goalie change here for the Owen Sound Attack as Trenton Bennett will come into the game. His 2nd game of the season, Bennett 1-0-0, stopped 45 of 47 against the London Knights in the opening game last Friday. Hasn't seen any action since, but he's in here as Kaprowski's pulled after stopping 13 of 17.
This has been a wild afternoon at the Bayshore, and it's still 4-on-4 for another 37 seconds. Here's Newton. Newton to the net, and that's stopped by Rogers. Rogers gets it again behind his own net. Tarian. He'll skate this up to center ice, finds Arnett. Arnett to Tarian. Tarian. It's a broken stick out there, but Tarian gets around it. Still with it, ends up in the corner. Tied up by Desiderio. The Attack with possession. That had a stick lifted there by Aitchison. Still in the Barrie zone. 5 seconds left in the penalty to Gabriel Eliasson. Evan Passmore. He'll move this one ahead. Passmore sends that one across. It's now a frontline hockey apparel power play. As the Colts move this one in. Trying to keep that one in the zone, but it escapes. Here's Carter Lowe. 7 seconds left in the power play. Lowe to Newton. Newton waits across one-timer. Bennett with a huge save. Salandra finds Newton again. Bennett stops that one too. As the Colts nearly capitalize on that abbreviated power play.
Oh, what a great couple of opportunities for Joe Salandra and Jaden Newton. Newton started it. Actually, Carter Lowe started it, kind of deking through a couple players, gets the pass out to Newton, fires it across to Salandra, who's open for the one-timer. 2 straight nights, Salandra's had a really nice one-timer opportunity that's just been stopped by the goaltender. And then Salandra gathers his own rebound, comes around, puts it forward, and Newton with the shot. And it's stopped by Bennett as the crowd goes wild as the announcer just announced an Alejandro Kirk grand slam to give the Blue Jays a 5-1 lead as they go for the AL East division.
Oh, that is fantastic. Alejandro Kirk, probably my favorite Blue Jay right now.
Me too.
I'm a jersey collector, and I've gone to a couple of Jays games, and my wife has had to stop me from buying another jersey.
I got his All-Star Game shirt.
Nice.
That and a Springer Argos jersey.
That's fantastic. You got a great collection.
Yeah.
But if you're tuning in for this broadcast, we thank you for tuning in. It's our very first official road broadcast of the Barrie Colts here on the channel. And this has been a wild one to start.
Yeah. One comment. I mean, one of the cool things about going to these other arenas is you don't know some of the things that the fans like to do. So noticing when Pierce Bowie scored, when the announcer announced it, all the fans kind of in unison just go, Bowie! So pretty cool to see. And I'm sure we got 18 other rinks we're going to head to throughout the year. And it'll be cool to see what some of the different team fan bases do.
Well, our next road broadcast will be next Sunday when the Barrie Colts are in St. Catharines to face the Niagara Ice Dogs, as Gardner puts that one over the net. Puck comes back to the point. Aitchison settles it down. Tristan DeLille takes it away from him. Lowe delivers the hit. Battle along the boards. Colts trying to move this one out at the point. Kept in by Salandra. Salandra finds Passmore. Passmore shot stopped by Bennett. As Trenton Bennett kept busy since coming in relief.
Yeah, the Barrie Colts have been really ramping up the pressure here in the last couple minutes, and the Owen Sound Attack come back with two quick ones there to take the lead back from the Barrie Colts, and you worry about how the Colts are going to respond, but they've responded pretty well with that goal from Ethan Armstrong, and they've kept the pressure up on Trenton Bennett.
So face off to the left of Bennett. Edgar set to take the draw here for the Barrie Colts. Up against Nelson. He'll win that one back to Aitchison. Takes the shots, and Bennett able to get a glove on that as the shots now starting to pile up here for the Barrie Colts, kind of like we saw in the third period last night.
Yeah, you're watching the second period yesterday, and the shots are heavily in favor of Windsor, and you're just kind of thinking throughout the game, oh, Windsor's outplayed them, and then all of a sudden you look up at the shot board at the end of the night, and the Colts have outshot them, and now here again today, it's still below Owen Sound in the shots, but it's 26-21, getting closer here.
Puck goes back into the Barrie zone. Hanser will collect it. Being chased there by Nelson. Edgar chips it out to center. Picked up by Greenberg. He's going to dump it right back in for the attack. Armstrong back behind the net. Hanser tied up by Nelson. Back behind the Colts net. Here's Jackman. Shot scores! Jackman with his first OHL goal puts it top shelf for the attack. And it's now 5-4.
Not only is it his first OHL goal, it's his first OHL game. Jackman coming in the lineup for Easton Micus as he was left alone in the slot there and was able to fire a shot home. Nice pass, gets it out to Jackman, and maybe a bit of a screen from Armstrong as he's coming across Jaswal's line of sight. And the Owen Sound Attack back out in front. It's 5-4.
Well, in the media room before this, they were talking about how excited they were to see Landon Jackman, who had a pretty good showing in the preseason, and now in his first OHL game has his first career goal. So the Attack back in front, 5-4, with just over 4 minutes left to go in the second period. Eliason behind the net. He'll send it ahead for Desiderio. Desiderio, though, had that blocked. Ray took it away. Back behind the Barrie nets. Nancy tied up by Vader. Roberts at the point. He keeps that one in. Crawford to the net, deflected off Eliason. That one nearly went into his own net. Desiderio, long pass, finds Crombie at center, but that was before the red line. And now it's going to be an icing call against the Barrie Colts.
Well, dangerous moment there for Gabriel Eliason as the puck kicked off his skate and nearly deflected towards Arvin Jaswal there, but puck stayed out.
3:36 left to go here in the second period. As it has been a wild game here at the Bayshore. And it's crazy to think we still have another period to go after this.
This game might end up 10-9.
Face off one by the Attack. Banks' shot deflected, and that one over the netting and out of play. So we'll do this face off once more.
I don't think a high-scoring game is really what you expect out of these two teams. Obviously, Horebic and Carter George both not playing today, but still, Arvin Jaswal pretty strong in his first game, and a lot of talk about how good the 3 Owen Sound goalies are. But nonetheless, both the Colts and the attack firing away pucks into the net continuously here in the second period.
So face off to the right of Jaswal. Scrambled draw. Sikora gets a stick on it towards the net. Jaswal had his paddle down. Puck goes to the corner. Gardner up to Lowe. Here's Salandra. He'll reach center ice. Dumps this one in. Carter Lowe chasing after it. Lowe along the boards, tied up by Banks. Salandra finds Gardner. Gardner trying to settle it down. That's knocked away from him, and now Deck will skate it up to center. He's stopped by Aitchison, but Greenberg trying to crown that bouncing puck. Reaching for it there was Passmore. He loses his stick. At the point, Banks, Sikora, he'll send that one around the boards. Kahan Herson, his pass picked off by Deck. Deck goes behind the Colts net. Passing that one across. There's the shot. Jaswal the save. Puck sitting there. Zarowski nearly getting there in time, but that's going to be corralled by Arvin Jaswal.
Now that puck deflected up in the air, and luckily Jaswal was able to see it and glove it before it trickled into the net. Tons of action here tonight. Some great action the other night. I mean, even though these two teams in opposite conferences, due to how close together they are, they play 8 times. So it's going to be very interesting to see the rest of the games this season between them.
Well, especially with how close apart together these first 2 games are of this series. As Crombie will skate this one in for the Colts around the Owen Sound net. He's knocked down by Bowie. Bowie can't hold on to it. Newton, one-timer, blocked by Bedkowski. Pass from the Colts is going to sail all the way back into their own zone. Eliasson collecting it now for Barrie. Eliasson dropping it back to Armstrong. Armstrong already a goal tonight. That's knocked down at center ice by Bowie. Pierce Bowie back to Bedkowski, near side Therrien. Therrien keeps that one away from Armstrong, stays with it, gets by Crombie. Therrien will flip this one deep. Off the end boards, picked up by Armstrong. Sends that one back to Eliasson. Gabriel Eliasson comes out from behind the net. Reaches the blue line, passes it ahead. Newton trying to send it into the Owen Sound zone. That doesn't work. Bowie across. Therrien just out of his reach, or he would have had a breakaway. Therrien knocked down by Eliasson. Play continues. Jacob Therrien slow to get up after that collision. Play continues behind the Colts net to scrum. Tristan DeLille knocks it free. Therrien in front. Got too much under that as that goes over the net. Back behind the play. Bowie, and there's the shot by Therrien. And the Colts will get this one down the ice. Racing after it is Calvin Crombie. Beats out the icing. Crombie in the corner. Tied up by Rogers. Macedonian also there to help out. As we have another scrum approaching the final minute of this second period. Arnott right now has a skate over top of that puck. Now it's dug free. The attack moving up to center ice. Nelson stopped. Here's Desiderio taking it the other way, but they're going to call offside as Alex Asadorian was having some issues getting to the Colts bench on the far side.
I don't know if he had a skate issue or if he just tripped, but caught the Colts offside there as more rough stuff between Passmore and Roberts here. Evan Passmore has been involved in a lot of this, and now they're both going to get penalties.
Yeah, Passmore and Roberts both being sent off. Roberts doesn't agree with it. And now it's Noah Roberts is getting a misconduct penalty. As Passmore also being sent off early.
Coincidental, so they wouldn't be able to come back this period no matter what.
Well, the way the ref signaled, I believe that he gave the extra penalty to Roberts as he had some words there for the referee.
That's the only one up on the screen right now.
So what was going to be probably a 4-on-4 situation is now turning into a power play for the Barrie Colts.
Oh, looks like Owen Sound has, nope, now Nancy's going to go off. So they had 5-on-4, but they don't have anyone in the box yet.
So it will be a power play here for the Barrie Colts, brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can check out Frontline Hockey Apparel at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. Right now, Scott Ray, the head coach, getting an explanation from the officials as to the extra penalty handed out to Roberts. And judging by Ray's expression, he doesn't seem too impressed by this penalty.
Oh, it just gave them the...
Just go away. Go. Get.
It's going to be Zarowski serving the penalty, it looks like. As Colts get another power play opportunity. And this power play had a couple opportunities last night to get them back in it against Windsor, but they weren't able to capitalize in the third period.
So Gardner is being tossed out of the face-off circle. In steps Calvin Crombie. Scrambled draw. The Colts pick it up. Carter Lowe gives it up to Salandra. Salandra back to the point. Aitchison over to Gardner. His shot blocked by Bedkowski. Back at the point. Aitchison. Aitchison with a shot stopped by Bennett. And the Attack are able to get this one down the ice. Jaswal trying to play it before Ray gets to it. Loose puck. It went through the crease. And then Aitchison crashes into the net, knocking the net off. As Mason Ray nearly had a solid shorthanded chance for Owen Sound.
Bit of an awkward moment there for the Colts, as looked like Gardner maybe thought Jaswal was going to be quicker to it, or didn't realize Ray was there, as he kind of just held off, and then Aitchison was trying to keep up, and Jaswal couldn't get it past Ray, who blocked it off, and nearly got that puck in the net.
Well, seeing the replay, it looked like Aitchison tried to kick the puck to his stick, but that got too much, and it nearly panked off Jaswal's skate. So face-off deep in the Barrie zone to the right of Jaswal. Gardner taking the draw against Tristan DeLille. Colts with it. They're going to take it back behind their own net. 18 seconds left in the period. Aitchison up to Salandra. Salandra, he's stopped at the line by Arnett. Puck rolls behind the Attack net. Bedkowski can't get it out, kept in by Gardner. Across to Aitchison. Aitchison's shot goes over the net. Crombie trying to get a stick on it. Lowe puts it behind the net. And that will do it for the second period of play. It's been a back and forth hockey game. We've got 9 goals in 40 minutes of play. And the Barrie Colts will have the power play carrying over into the third period, but there's so much to break down from just that opening frame, as that game is going back and forth. And it's not really a surprise seeing this happen when you've got the two Highway 26 rivals and just the animosity that these two teams have.
Well, it kind of reminds me of last season when the Barrie Colts were playing the Sudbury Wolves, and you saw on the schedule that they had 2 or 3 back-to-backs against each other, and they already didn't like each other, and that just added to it. So the Colts already seeing Owen Sound during the preseason, and now seeing them again Thursday night, and then again here quickly again on the Sunday. And the Colts may be coming in a bit frustrated. They just had 2 tough losses, and they want to get back in the win column. And Owen Sound is throwing everything they got at them as well. And we've seen a lot of physicality. We've seen a lot of goals tonight. It's been a really fun game.
Yeah, and it's been an entertaining one. And obviously coming to this, the Barrie Colts only scored a goal in their last 2 games, a goal against Owen Sound, a goal against Windsor, and now seeing them put up 4 goals is very encouraging, and I'm sure for Dylan Smoskowitz.
Yeah, no doubt. And some of the guys getting the goals, Jaden Newt, Carter Lowe, Calvin Crombie, those are the veteran players that you need to step up here in the beginning of the season, while these young guys like a Joe Salandra, like an Eamon Ecker, get their feet wet in the OHL. You can't expect those guys to come in and immediately be top-tier players, so you need guys returning from last year or new veterans like Asadorian and Crombie to step up and give you some goals early in the regular season.
So it's the second intermission. The Owen Sound Attack have a 5-4 lead on the Barrie Colts, and we're going to take a break ourselves, but we're going to check in with Terry Doyle and the OHL news as we get caught up with the happenings around the OHL.
Hello everyone, I'm Terry Doyle. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of OHL News. Coming up on the show, we'll hear from Commissioner Brian Crawford as the new 2025-26 Ontario Hockey League season is now underway. But first, this week's Cogeco OHL Player of the Week for the first week of the regular season is Cole Davis of the Windsor Spitfires. He picked up 4 goals and 2 assists for 6 points in 2 Spitfires victories. 3 of the 4 goals that Davis scored last week were shorthanded, including 2 in Friday night's opener in Sarnia against the Sting, an 8-1 win that was followed up with a 4-1 victory over the London Knights on Saturday night. The 19-year-old from Sutton, Ontario, is now in his 3rd full season with the Spitfires after collecting 45 points in 57 games last season. He was a 4th-round pick of the Spitfires in the 2022 OHL Priority Selection. Meantime, the Spitfires are the top-ranked OHL club in this week's CHL Top 10 rankings presented by Delta Hotels by Marriott. Spitfires number 2 across the country. Meantime, the Kitchener Rangers come into this week's rankings at number 4 and the Brantford Bulldogs at 5. It is an exciting time around the Ontario Hockey League. We just wrapped up OHL opening week presented by Delta Bingo and Gaming, and now we continue on with the second week of the season. OHL Commissioner Brian Crawford certainly among the ones very happy to see the action on the ice back underway.
It's obviously an exciting week being back on the ice this week and coming off a season that featured an OHL attendance record of 3.2 million fans that went through our turnstiles between the regular season and playoffs. The league has never been in a better place in terms of its health and where it's headed going forward into this 2025-2026 season. This year's season is, of course, starting a week earlier, and really that is a part of an effort to reduce midweek games and the occurrences of 3-3 in an effort to improve the schedule for our players and our fans alike. And we're really excited about the potential ramifications of improvement for this coming year. We've also introduced Rivalry Week for the first time from October 16th to 19th. This is a new initiative that will see some of our biggest rivals in our league take the ice in home-and-home series early in the season to really get that momentum going, and we're excited to bring that to our fans this year. Following an excellent inaugural edition of last year's Connor McDavid Top Prospects game in Brantford, we're headed to Peterborough on January 14th, and we'll be launching a number of new initiatives that will surround that game that we'll be announcing in the coming weeks and months headed up to our premier showcase event. On the ice, we've launched a number of new rule changes that we rolled out over the last number of weeks for the coming season that will really see the OHL adopt changes that are in line with the NHL and also place greater emphasis on expanded video review and enhanced technology. We're really excited about the new camera technology that we're installing into all of our buildings and launching here for the beginning of the season that will improve the quality of our review capability, will improve the quality of our ability to coach and mentor and educate, and will, I think, enhance the experience for the fans both in venue and watching on broadcast as well. We're excited to bring new equipment supplier partnerships to the ice this year with Under Armour and Bauer. They'll be providing the league's jerseys and soft goods, and then our apparel, and then also our hard goods and on-ice equipment from Bauer. So partnering with 2 of the world's premier sport brands is a fantastic advancement for our league, and we're really excited about those new partnerships and once again, just further experiencing the player experience as well. Speaking of which, earlier this month, we announced a series of new player experience minimum standards that we'll be implementing in the coming season. This was the result of a year's worth of work by a player experience committee that was started and founded to review the player experience in all aspects that touch this experience of the players from the time that they enter the league to the time that they leave the league. And so our board has approved a number of specific player experience minimum standards, from a suite of medical and therapy services to strength and conditioning coaches, team nutritionists, data and performance collection standards, minimum travel and accommodations, billet standards, off-season training support, and so forth. So this will start to roll out over the coming seasons and will be enhanced on a continual basis and monitored on a continual basis as we seek to just further advance the level of experience that we provide here in the OHL. Further prioritizing the development of the players, we recently announced the launch of the OHL Development League in a partnership with the GOJHL. This will really see a greater collaboration with the league as a development partner of ours to provide stronger pathways for our prospective players to the OHL. You know, certainly long-term is our hope that we'll continue to add additional league partners to this initiative and strengthen those bonds as we develop the best players in the world to play in the OHL and beyond. Certainly plenty of new dynamics with the NCAA change last year. This year, the OHL featured 82 current players that have NCAA commitments. A total of 7 players departed the OHL for NCAA schools prior to the completion of their senior seasons. In total, we have over 60 alumni that are on NCAA scholarships to begin the 2025-26 season. And even more excitingly, in the impact of this rule change and the OHL being able to attract over 112 players from sources throughout North America that have chosen to come to the OHL now and play in our league when they traditionally wouldn't have been there. So the overall quality of the league will never have been stronger with the addition of all these fantastic players to the league this year. We were, of course, really excited just a few weeks ago to announce our new partnership with Flow Media and our media partnership with Flow Sports, a 7-year media partnership to deliver an outstanding broadcast quality product to our fans. So this extends to all of our streaming as well as content creation and digital coverage. And for our fans, not only provides access to the OHL, but of course OHL alumni that are playing in the AHL, ECHL, and other levels, plus prospects that are playing in the GOJHL, our new development league, and other leagues like the OJHL, CJHL, and so forth. So we think an incredible advancement in the quality of the product that we're providing our fans and our partners. We're also continue to work with all of our community TV partners who have been fantastic partners in our league. They'll continue to produce all the games and air the games locally, and we'll continue to offer our Friday night face-off product, the game of the week that will air on the league's social media channel starting this week with London and Owen Sound. So those are all some great initiatives, and we're packaging it all around a brand new campaign called Greatness Starts Here. This is a new marketing and brand campaign that we'll be launching this week, and has started to filter out into much of our content that we're creating. The campaign will feature 7 prominent OHL alumni currently playing in the NHL, and that will connect to this next great generation of OHL talent that really makes our league so special. So a fully encompassing campaign that will include commercials and digital content, branded pieces, and so forth, and really touch everything that we do as a league and as a collection of teams. So we're really excited about the new campaign and looking forward to rolling that out starting this week for all of you.
That was OHL Commissioner Brian Crawford. That's going to do it for our show this week. You've been listening to OHL News. I'm Terry Doyle. Thanks for joining us.
So it's the second intermission between the Barrie Colts and the Owen Sound Attack as we're at the Bayshore Community Center, and it's been a wild game so far as we're about just under 9 minutes away from the start of the third period. And because this is a YouTube broadcast, we do have the capability to do the fan chat. So if you have any comments, questions, or anything you want to talk about involving the Barrie Colts or the rest of the OHL, you can leave that in the chat, and we'll answer those questions the best to our abilities, of course. But it is exciting even just to talk junior hockey. I know there's that Toronto Blue Jays game going on right now, so everyone's attention off to different areas, but at the same time, we can still have the chat here on the channel. But while we have a moment, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Yeah, so in North Bay, the Kingston Frontenacs still lead 2-1 in the third period there. In Sarnia, Flint is there. They're down 5-3 to the Sting. Jack Van Bolsen with a pair of goals for Sarnia. And in Ottawa, it's the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds up 2-1 on the Ottawa 67s. The Sioux with a pair of first period goals despite only 7 shots.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Sioux Greyhounds in Barrie on Thursday as Sault Ste. Marie, that team that is kind of, taking notice or giving notice to the Ontario Hockey League about what they're capable of.
Well, when I was preparing for the game last night against the Windsor Spitfires, I saw how many players Windsor had that already had goals at 9. I kind of looked around the league to see where that stood in the OHL, and that stood second because the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have 10 different players who have already scored goals for them this season. They're showing their depth here early. Landon Miller, the goaltender for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, there was some questions about whether he could be the guy, but I've heard from some people in Sault Ste. Marie that he's kind of taking that next step forward.
Yeah, and that was the big conversation among Greyhound fans was, okay, is Landon Miller going to be our starting goaltender? Because he had a couple of preseason games that he was giving up some soft goals, and I think fans were, do you hit the panic button just yet about your goaltending? But everyone, can be settled down a little bit. Landon Miller has been solid between the pipes for the Greyhounds. Obviously, still waiting for Brady Martin to return. He's had a good run with the Nashville Predators, but not even having Martin there, Quinn McKenzie, one of the free agent signings, has been sensational for Sault Ste. Marie, and he's going to be a player to really watch when the Greyhounds are in town on Thursday night.
Yeah, no doubt. I think there's going to be a ton of players for the Sioux that we're going to have to look out for, including Brady Martin. Like you said, it's kind of getting to that time where some of the bigger names are being sent back. Bobo Dwang could be in the lineup. Brady Martin could be in the lineup. It's definitely going to be interesting to see.
So we do have the chat open. So if you want to comment or give your take on anything going on with the Barrie Colts or the OHL, you can put that there. I know I see Lee mentioning the Buffalo Bills game. It's if you're a sports fan, this time of year it's a good day. You've got the football going on. You've got the Jays, obviously the Yankees. So I understand why everyone's attention span is all over the board. Because I know if I was at home, I'd be having a hard time keeping track of everything that's going on right now, especially when it's this early in the OHL season.
Yep, no doubt. And in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to have to balance 2 hockey leagues as well with the NHL coming back. And yeah, it's a great time to be a sports fan. MLB playoffs are starting to happen. You got football every Sunday. And then, of course, the OHL and NHL getting underway here.
Yeah, and for the Barrie Colts, this is their first road game of the season. And we talked with Dylan Smoskowitz pregame, and he was just talking about how for the Barrie Colts, it's the younger guys are still getting into the swing of things, getting into that rhythm, learning what the OHL is all about, especially when you've got new players who are coming from the U.S. When you look at Desiderio with Schneid, with Salandra, but these players looking like they're getting more and more comfortable each game, and we're starting to see how they're all blending together with a lot of the returning players from last season.
Yeah, one thing Dylan Smoskowitz has done a good job of so far this year is kind of mixing and matching his lines, especially on the defensive side. We've seen all 7 guys, when you include Cole Emerton, kind of moved around into different pairings. And on the forward line as well, we've seen a couple different combinations tonight, and he's moved around guys like Brad Gardner and Alex Asadorian. Yeah, the new guys looked really good against the Guelph Storm, kind of beginner's luck, maybe you could say, with those 6 goals, including a few from William Schneid and Joe Salandra. And the scoring's calmed down, like we mentioned, but as those guys are getting adjusted, I think that scoring's going to eventually pick up for the Barrie Colts, and we've seen it tonight, led by their veterans. So if you're getting both the veterans scoring and the rookies scoring, you're going to be a pretty high-powered offensive team.
And for Dylan Smoskowitz, he's not afraid to roll 4 lines, especially with the way things are. You look at the 4th line here tonight, you've got Govro, McCormick, and Edgar lining that 4th line, and we've seen them out there on a regular basis. McCormick, he's a big body. He's throwing those hits. Edgar, at times, I think he's still trying to get into the swing of things, but you see that potential, and you see what Smoskowitz and company is trying to develop with this team, and I think they're going to be in that right direction. And Govro, not afraid to mix it up, especially when you've got a guy like Jacob Therrien, who he's gotten under the skin of everyone, it seems like, on the Barrie Colts. And Govro, he's able to manage it himself, and it's really fascinating just to see how comfortable they are with that 4th line.
Yeah, no doubt. And Eamon Edgar, kind of an interesting guy because he's more of a skill guy, but he's been playing on the lines with a couple tough guys, Jonah McCormick and Sam Black, the first 2 games now, McCormick and Luke Govro. And in an article by Gene Pereira back in the preseason, Marty Williamson said, compared Eamon Edgar to Brian Little. So the potential for Eamon Edgar is through the roof. And as he gets used to the OHL, his playing time is going to go up, and he's going to be playing with more skilled guys compared to some more physicality guys that he's playing with right now. And Jonah McCormick and Luke Govro still creating some offensive chances as well. So that 4th line's had a solid night again here today, and they'll look to continue that here in the 3rd period.
Now, Paul asks, so when will the Colts have a captain? And that's a question we've been getting a lot from fans of the Barrie Colts, and we talked about it on the broadcast last night on Rogers TV. And I think the majority of us are expecting that as soon as Baudouin is sent back to the OHL, he'll likely become the captain. But there's some great candidates on this team.
Yeah, no doubt. Two guys that are here tonight, Kahan Herson and Brad Gardner. Aitchison, they call him the mayor. If you're calling a guy a mayor, I think he'd be a pretty good choice for captain. And you see his leadership out on the ice, even the way he talked about the other guys defensively when I interviewed him earlier today. Just he seems like a big leader for this Barrie Colts team. And but in the end, Paul Baudouin looks like a born leader, and I think he's the perfect choice to be Barrie Colts captain.
So the players are coming back out on the ice as we're just minutes away from the start of the third period. And we thank you for all your questions on the chat. And we see Lee says he's watching the Bills game and listening to my Colts play and supporting this great radio production. Can't wait to see where this goes from here. So Lee, we appreciate your support. I know a lot of sports fans right now divided. Do you watch the Jays game, the football, tune into the Colts game? There's a lot going on right now, and we appreciate everyone who is tuning in for the broadcast. This is the first official road radio broadcast of the Barrie Colts here on the channel. And I got to say, we haven't had any hiccups yet with the technical side of things, knock on wood.
Yeah, no doubt. We had some issues in setup. Didn't know if I was going to be able to hear you today, but we got that figured out. And it's just so cool to go on the road with the Barrie Colts, kind of viewing the different arenas, the different media room. You know, it's every place is different. You're going to see the different types of fan bases, different types of arenas, different media booths, you know, and this one's a bit of a cozy one. There's other places where we'll be kind of shoved in a corner, or other places where we're kind of on our own in a corner. And yeah, so here today we're pretty cozy here in Owen Sound. It's a bit warm, but
I feel like I should have worn a t-shirt and shorts with how warm it is up here. But yeah, it's great that we can go on the road, and we appreciate Barrie Colts support, having Smoskowitz on, doing the coaches show before, just to get his take on everything going on. So we're going to all 34 road games. That's the plan. And of course, Gene Pereira will be joining us for those broadcasts as well, as we bring the Barrie Colts perspective when it comes to the media, as it's kind of a void that's been there for the last few years.
Yeah, no doubt. And one thing about us is we are entitled, so I'm sure by next week we're going to be in a rink and we're going to be complaining that it's way too cold there and we want the warmth back.
Well, considering our next road broadcast is going to be at the Meridian Center in St. Catharines next weekend, I think we're going to be in an okay spot. So the third period underway, the Barrie Colts on the power play for another minute as they send the puck back into the Colts zone. Kahan Herson is there to collect it. Aitchison, he'll come out from behind the net, passing that one over to Salandra. Salandra through center, he'll dump this one in. Around the boards it goes. Carter Lowe, he'll play it, but that's taken away by Crawford. He'll get this one out to center. Aitchison there to play it. Nelson dumping that one deep into the Colts zone. Both teams making changes as the power play now down to 35 seconds. Gardner up to Lowe. Lowe, that's blocked, ends up behind the net, in front, but Carter Lowe not ready for that pass. Crombie down to Aitchison in the corner. Sets up Crombie at the point. Aitchison comes back to retrieve it. Aitchison over to Gardner. Quick pass across. Salandra trying to go back to Aitchison, but that doesn't connect. Aitchison able to pick up the loose puck. Takes the shot right into Rogers. And he's able to clear this one out as the power play about to expire. As that penalty is now over. And we're now back to 5-on-5 hockey. As the attack regroup in their own zone. That's deflected by Crawford, so no icing. Jaswal out of his net to play it. Schneid couldn't pick up that loose puck. There's a shot. It goes wide of the net. Greenberg keeps that one in for the attack. Zarowski's on the far side. Zarowski comes back to the point, gives that one up to Nelson. Greenberg takes the shot. Rebound as Jaswal made the save. Puck comes back to the point, kept in by Banks. Quick pass across. Newton will take that one away, and the Colts will move this one out to center. Acidorian carrying it in for Barrie. Takes the shot. That goes wide of the net. Acidorian couldn't hold on to it. Puck bouncing as the attack will pick this one up. Out to center. Picked up by Vader. Delayed offside. Schneid will just send that one deep. Greenberg picking it up back behind his own net. Both teams in the midst of line changes as Greenberg will take his time, now being chased out by Bodie Stewart. Bowie, his pass blocked by Edgar. Puck sitting at center. Greenberg knocked down at center ice, and that's going to be a penalty as Teague Vader is going to be called for the trip.
I doubt the Barrie Colts bench will be happy about that one as, yeah, Vader did trip him, but about a couple seconds before that looked like a trip by an Owen Sound player there, taking down a Colt player, but the only one called is on the Colts. Vader to the box, and it's an Owen Sound power play.
So this is the 5th power play of the afternoon for the Owen Sound Attack. They're already 1 for 4. And right now, holding on to that 1-goal lead. Face-off coming to the right of Arvin Jaswal. Face-off won by the Attack. At the point, Banks sends that one back to Terrian. Banks gets it again. Bowie over to Terrian. Terrian with a shot, and Jaswal able to make the save. Is Jacob Terrian, player you got to keep an eye out for.
No doubt. Great puck movement there by the Attack, getting it around on both sides of the ice, and nice pass there to Terrian for the quick shot, but Jaswal able to make the save.
A minute 49 left to go in the power play here for the Attack. Owen Sound winning the draw back to the point. Aitchison ties up Terrian. He loses his helmet. Play goes to the net. Nancy stops. Bowie gets the rebound. Pierce Bowie from the corner goes behind the Attack net. Nancy trying to continue it to Terrian. Terrian ahead. There's DeLille, and Jaswal able to make the save.
Really smart play by Jacob Terrian there. Realized he had some time to put the helmet on instead of going back to the bench to be taken off the ice. That would have kind of negated the power play for a little bit with how far he would have had to go and then how far the other player coming on the ice would have had to come back.
So we'll get the face-off here to the right of Arvin Jaswal. Power play now down to a minute 29. Face-off won by the Attack. Banks at the point. Trying to go back to Terrian. Nearly taken away by Aitchison. Following up is Crombie. Calvin Crombie skates it up shorthanded. Crombie, nice move to the net. Forehand. Shot stopped by Bennett. What a chance for Calvin Crombie. Terrian can't control the pass at center ice. Eliasson will collect it. Eliasson putting that one off the glass. That's going to sail down the ice. Bennett out of his net to play it. Leaving it there for Banks. Terrian there to collect it now for Owen Sound. He'll skate this one forward through the neutral zone. Terrian. He is good up by Eliasson. What a hit. And then Terrian trying to throw the hit on Eliasson falls over himself. Oh my, oh my. And they continue to play as the Colts will clear it. Power play now down to 39 seconds. Gabriel Eliasson having words with Terrian as he's skating off to the bench. I don't think Terrian is happy about that play. Rogers carries it in now for the Attack. Puck sitting there. Deck to the middle. Takes the shot. Kicked aside by Jaswal. Sikora putting this one down low. The Attack moving this one around. Ray takes a bump from Newton. Stays with it. Back to Sikora. Sikora sending it back to Greenberg. Over to Rogers. His shot. And that's stopped by Jaswal. With 5 seconds remaining and looking at the Attack bench, Jacob Terrian still fuming after being taken down by Gabriel Eliasson.
Well, I think Barrie Colts fans and players will be very happy about that. Looking at that Calvin Crombie chance, dekes out the defender and then goes between the legs for a short-handed opportunity there that's stopped. But Jacob Terrian, he's kind of a pesky player that's going to annoy fans and players. So when you get that big hit on him, everyone gets pretty excited.
There's a shot from Greenberg, and that's wide of the net. The power play has come to an end. Vader back on the ice. The Attack still have it deep in the Barrie zone. Greenberg now at the point. His shot goes off Nelson. Rogers with a shot blocker save Jaswal. Max DeLille comes out of the corner. The Attack moving it around. Jackman behind the net. There's a goal already tonight for Owen Sound. Greenberg with a shot, and Jaswal makes the glove save as we're almost at the 5-minute mark of the third period.
Well, Barrie Colts started getting a comeback, but it really feels like since Trenton Bennett was put in net for the Attack, the game's kind of shifted. Shots were 26-20 at one point. They're now 38-23 in favor of Owen Sound. Barrie was able to kill off that power play there, though, and hopefully using that as momentum to try and get back in this game.
Some confusion here for the Barrie Colts on the face-off to the left of Jaswal. As Aitchison now gets into his position and Face-off wasn't done cleanly, so Tristan DeLille now being tossed out of the face-off dot. In comes Pierce Bowie. And now we got Jacob Therrien tying his skates. A little bit of everything. Now we're able to continue the play. The Attack get it off the face-off. DeLille sends it across to Therrien. His shot blocked by Passmore. That rolled to the net. Bowie collecting it now for Owen Sound. Drops it for Therrien. Therrien tied up by Passmore. Bowie there to pick it up. Puck comes the near side. Desiderio gets a stick on it. That'll escape the zone. Here comes Joe Salandra with speed. Salandra in the attacking zone. Knocked down by Roberts. Tristan DeLille trying to get it from underneath Salandra. Salandra still on top of the puck in the corner. Now it's not free. Badkowski comes up with it. Kept in by Eliasson for a moment. Therrien facing pressure there from Desiderio. Trying to play it. Puck goes in the air. Tristan DeLille passing it up to Bowie. Pierce Bowie avoids the hit from Armstrong. Trying to stay with it. Great work here by Bowie. Now no, he still has it. And then he's bumped by Eliasson. Puck's down behind the net. Therrien in front, but no one there for Owen Sound. Rogers back at the point. That shot wide of the net. Here's Deck. Backhand pass to Therrien, and that misses. At the point, Rogers, his shot on goal, and Jaswal able to get the glove on it as Pierce Bowie showing off his stick work there in the slot.
Well, what a move there by Bowie. One or two, maybe even three times it looked like he was going to lose that puck there. Did a great job off the start, avoiding the hit from Ethan Armstrong. Credit for Armstrong for getting back into the play, but looked like he was going to take the puck from him, but instead, Bowie able to keep it. Michael Deck nearly had a wide open opportunity out front, decided to try and pass, but didn't work out for the Owen Sound Attack.
So face-off won by the Attack. That puck sent in the air. Sikora settles that one down. Here's Zarowski. Eliasson trips up his man. Fans want a penalty, none coming. Here's McCormick. Skates this one ahead. He'll dump this one in the zone. And they're going to blow the whistle here. It's going to be an icing call against the Barrie Colts. As it's been a high-tempo hockey game, especially now in this third period, is desperation starting to creep in there for the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, time running down on the clock for the Colts here, who would love to get in the wing column once again. You've lost two in a row. You don't want that losing streak to keep going and going. You want to get out in front of it and get a win before you start spiraling.
So it's a TV timeout here in the third period. 5-4 for the Attack. They're out shooting the Barrie Colts 40-23. And we also just want to remind you of our sponsor of the broadcast, Frontline Hockey Apparel. As they're our power play sponsor, but we just want to give them an extra shout out just for thanking them for bringing you Barrie Colts hockey on the road. And if you would like to be a sponsor as well, we have advertising spots still available. You can just send an email over to fromtheboothwithmike@gmail.com. And you can also be a part of this Barrie Colts road broadcast, as we're going to bring you all 34 road games during the regular season as the Colts make that march to the 2026 playoffs.
Well, looking out of town right now, just noticed the Ottawa 67s have scored a pair of goals to take a 3-2 lead over the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Well, Ottawa 2-0 to start the regular season after missing the playoffs last year. Team looking to get back into the playoffs. Face-off won by the Attack. There's Sikora, stopped by Jaswal. Colts can't get it out. Kept in by Greenberg. Greenberg's shot blocked in front by Armstrong. That stung. Sikora into the slots, and that's deflected out to center. Greenberg sends this one back into the Barrie zone. Eliasson's there to collect it. Armstrong ahead. Loose puck. Low comes off the bench to play it. Sikora, though, blocked that pass attempt. Puck's at center ice. Zarowski ahead for Greenberg. Greenberg trying to catch up to that loose puck. Eliasson gets to it first. Deck throws the hit on Eliasson. Didn't really move him that much. There's a shot from Badkowski, blocked by Lowe. Hands are on the far side. Passing that to Gardner. Colts get this one out to the neutral zone. Roberts will send this one back in. Hanser settles it down behind the net. Up to Brad Gardner. Gardner up to Salandra. He'll tip this one into the Owen Sound zone. Badkowski, first one on it for the Attack. That pass picked off by Gardner. His shot blocked by Crawford. Nancy able to get this one out to center ice. Mason Ray carrying it in for the Attack. Ray with the shots. Jaswal the save. Colts pick up the loose puck. Gardner ahead for Salandra. He's going to dump this one in. Behind the net, Kaprowski will play it. Carter Lowe putting on pressure on the forecheck. Crawford has it in his equipment. Puck kick to the corner. Roberts will send this one back to Bedkowski. Crawford receives the pass. At center, Nancy tips that one, so no icing. Jaswal will play it. Colts get this one out to center. It's going to be dumped right back in by the attack as the Colts will regroup. Just under 12 minutes left in this hockey game. Barrie Colts still down by 1. It's a 5-4 score. Kahan Herson. He'll move this one up. Passes it ahead. Finds Crombie at the attack blue line. His shot stopped by Bennett. Rebound comes to the boards. Colts send it to the point, but Aitchison can't keep it in. Now it's a foot race. Passmore gets to it first. Passmore up the wing. Crombie quickly to Asadorian. Here's Jaden Newton. He'll enter the zone. Newton forced to the outside by Rogers. He's taken into the boards. Arnett's there. Aitchison gets it at the point. Passes it across. Crombie trying to tap that one in, but Bennett with the save. Puck kept in at the point by Passmore. That goes off the end boards. Asadorian gives chase. Sending that one around. Crombie comes out of the corner. Takes the shot. Misses the net. The attack picking up. Jackman. He'll get this one out for Owen Sound. Settled down by Aitchison. He's going to dump this one in. Rogers plays that one in the corner, but he put that one over the glass and out of play. They're going to say it went off the glass, so no penalty.
Some more good opportunities for this line of Crombie, Asadorian, and Jaden Newton. Newton's got a goal. Crombie's got a goal as well. And Calvin Crombie maybe trying to put it out front for one of Newton and Asadorian there to look to tie the game and just missed.
Well, Alex Asadorian still looking for his first goal as a member of the Barrie Colts. He's had some good looks, but not able to find the back of the net as of yet. Face off to the left of Bennett. Tristan DeLille taking the draw here for the attack against Schneid. Puck goes to the corner. Aitchison ties up his man. At the blue line, kept in by Armstrong. The attack trying to move this one out. Greenberg passes it ahead. Here's Pierce Bowie. Bowie stopped by Armstrong, but then DeLille takes it. DeLille in the far corner. Back to the blue line. Banks settles it down. Takes their shot into the crowd. Jaswal the save. Colts will move it out. Greenberg at center. Bowie was knocked down. It's delayed offside here against the attack, and then Bowie with the slash. And that'll be the whistle, and they're going to bring this face-off out.
It might go all the way down to the Owen Sound end here as the officials shouting off, and don't know what Pierce Bowie's upset about. Maybe he doesn't think he touched the puck or something.
Well, they were yelling at Bowie because he was in front of the Barrie Colts net as he was involved in a collision as the play came back into the Barrie zone. So maybe he didn't realize it was going to be offside. But either way, face-off coming now to the left of Trenton Bennett. Face-off won by the Colts. Vader sends that one around. Gardner gives chase in the corner. Back to Eliason. He rides the blue line, sends it towards the net, blocked by Bowie. Nearly had his pocket picked by Lowe. Bedkowski sends it around. Roberts ahead. DeLille. He'll drop this one back. Roberts takes the hit as the attack now come to the near wing. That's going to go down the length of the ice. And that's an icing call against Owen Sound, so now they can't make a line change.
Not a lot of shots for the Barrie Colts so far this period, and hopefully they can maybe use this icing. Same players have to stay out on the ice for Owen Sound, and Pierce Bowie and the rest of his line's been out there for a while. Colts looking to take advantage, have Asadorian, Crombie, Newton, Aitchison, and Armstrong out there on the ice.
So we'll get this face-off to the right of Bennett, as Asadorian will take the draw against Tristan DeLille. DeLille's been handed a warning. Face-off won by the Colts. Aitchison from the corner in front. Bennett with a big stop on Crombie. And now the attack will send it out to center ice. Bouncing puck. DeLille picks it up. Goes to Therrien. Therrien will just send it back behind the Colts net. Tristan DeLille is there. DeLille tied up. Can't put it out in front. Crombie. He'll move this one up. Finds Aitchison. Trying to go back to Asadorian. That was out of his reach. Arnett up to DeLille. Tristan DeLille. His pass off a skate. The attack trying to pick it up. In front, DeLille stopped by Jaswal as Tristan DeLille left all alone in front of the Barrie Colts net.
He was out there for a while, too. He was part of that Bowie and Tarian line. But DeLille stuck out there. Fires that shot on Jaswal. Nice save. Colts on the other end had a really good opportunity as well. Aitchison able to get it down low for Crombie. Good job by Bennett sneaking across to make that save.
So 9:15 left to go in the hockey game. Face off to the right of Jaswal. Gardner taking the draw for the Colts. He'll win this one back to Passmore. Evan Passmore. The pass deflected. Arnett keeps it at the blue line. Salandra trying to tie him up. Puck rolls to the net. That's guided away as Carter Lowe will send this one out to center ice. Rogers, first one on it. And that's going to be whistled now, and we'll get another face-off.
Well, after quite a wild second period, things have seemed to calm down here in the third. Couple chances on both sides. Neither team's found the back of the net. Physicality's calmed down a lot as both teams not wanting to take an undisciplined penalty here late cost their team.
Well, the Owen Sound Attack looking to stay perfect to start the 25-26 OHL season. 3-0 is their record, including that huge win last night here at the Bayshore against the Rangers. And right now, up by one. Colts, however, have it. There's the shot blocked by Deck. That's stung. At the point, Aitchison. Deck hobbling a little bit. Here's Carter Lowe. His shot. That goes over the net. Passmore after the loose puck. Kept in at the point by Aitchison. That's going to go to the corner. Colts, however, can't keep it in. Zarowski chasing after the loose puck. Passmore will get to it first. That rolls over his stick. Zarowski diving for it. Gets it behind the Colts net where it's picked up by Aitchison. Salandra up to Passmore. Evan Passmore enters the zone. Had that taken away by Banks. Greenberg back to Banks. Sikora sending this one back. The Attack trying to regroup, but they turn it over. Here's Schneid. His shot over the net. Puck's at the side of the goal. Picked up by Nancy. Harry Nancy with possession. He'll pass this one back, and the Attack will dump it in. Right now, looking at the Attack bench, Zarowski having some issues there with his shoulder. As the Attack with possession, trying to get a shot to go is Nancy. One-timer, that goes over the net by Ray. Crawford puts it around the goal. Here's Ray. We'll send this one back to Nancy. Nancy tied up. Colts pick it up. Hands her to the line, not out. Kept in by Bedkowski. Roberts winds up. His shot turned aside by Jaswal. Nancy with it. Passing this one back to Bedkowski. Bedkowski takes the shot, turned aside by Jaswal. And that one's going to go over the glass. And yes, that fan with the one-handed grab.
That looked very easy. Cole Zarowski going to skate off here with the trainer still holding his shoulder. Looked like him and Evan Passmore got into it down in the Colts end behind the net. I think Passmore's knee may have ended up landing on Zarowski's shoulder, and he was in a lot of pain there heading off, so not good for the Attack.
Cole Zarowski, 2 goals and an assist coming into tonight's game. That was second most in points for Owen Sound, so that's a tough situation there if you're a fan of the Owen Sound Attack. As that puck rolls to the net, Roberts takes it away. DeLille picks it up at his own blue line, up to Bowie. Bowie trying to go back to DeLille, surrounded by blue sweaters. Crombie back to Eliasson. Gabriel Eliasson loses the handle of it, had his stick lifted by Tristan DeLille. Armstrong back behind his own net. Fanned on it, Bowie takes it away in front, and that one misses. That was Tristan DeLille in front. Colts pick it up. They're going to send this one out to center ice. Alley-oop pass knocked down by Newton. Newton gets it into the Attack zone, but that's short-lived. Now it's Tarian the other way. Jacob Tarian trying to get around Aitchison, but he takes it from him. They'll put it off the end boards. Far side, Crombie. Calvin Crombie will skate this one up, reaches center ice. Crombie still with it. Up to Newton. Newton back to Aitchison. Aitchison, he's stopped, and now Jacob Tarian's off to the races. Vader trying to catch up. Traps it back to Sikora. Sikora over to Nelson. What a save by Jaswal. Marvin Jaswal coming up clutch here for the Colts with under 6 minutes remaining. Newton sends that one in. Around the boards it goes. Arnett picks it up for Owen Sound, back behind his own net. Rogers now. He'll pass this one ahead. Knocked down there by Sikora. Loose puck. Salandra taken away by Sikora momentarily. Now Salandra will send it deep. Off the end boards. Arnett there to pick it up for the attack. Hanser comes off the point to try and take it away. Puck's in the corner. Hanser dropping it back. Rogers picks it up for Owen Sound. Sikora can't get it out. Kept in by Hanser. Hanser losing it. Lowe there to bail him out. Carter Lowe. He falls. Trying to send that one ahead. And now it's picked up by Rogers. He'll get it out. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Max DeLille with possession. Passes it across. Crawford catching up to it. Drops it back to Ray. His shot over the net. Carter Lowe picking it up for Barrie. Taken away by Crawford. Crawford again. His shot blocked by Passmore. Puck goes to the corner. Slandra trying to send that one forward. Crawford has it in his skates. Gardner trying to take it away. Puck goes to the boards. Picked up by Ray. He's going to send this one deep. Justin Hanser now. Back behind his own net for Evan Passmore. Passmore up to Hanser. Hanser sends this one deep. Bennett out of his net to play it. The attack. Get this one out to the neutral zone. Harry Nancy carrying this one in. Goes to the corner. Aitchison trying to play it. Sends that one forward. The Colts with possession. They're going to skate this one out. It's Bodie Stewart. Up to Schneid. Schneid on the wing. Takes the shot. And Bennett doesn't give up a rebound as he holds tight. And they'll get a face-off with 4:10 remaining here in the third.
Well, the Owen Sound Attack had the best opportunity of the period so far a couple minutes ago as Jacob Therrien snuck in, forced a turnover on Kahan Herson. Good job by Teague Vader skating back to disrupt that play. Therrien went across to Sikora, and when Sikora went to the trailer and deck, they kind of got disrupted by Teague Vader, and Jaswal got across to make a nice save there.
Yes, the Barrie Colts battling hard in this one. Jaswal helping them out on multiple occasions, but another player who deserves some credit is Justin Hanser. On that last shift, just getting the puck into the zone, creating those opportunities. He's one of those players that kind of going under the radar when you've got the likes of Aitchison, Passmore, and Eliason.
Well, he's not a flashy player, and that's really why he doesn't get as much credit as those guys. You see those guys a ton in the offensive zone. Hanser, a really just strong defender. On the other hand, for him, and just kind of taking that step forward that we were expecting, that Dylan Smoskowitz was expecting. You remember back to that Grayson Tiller trade, Smoskowitz said that he went and called Ethan Armstrong and Justin Hanser and said, we made this trade because of you guys, because of the trust we have in you guys.
Well, it's definitely a key contributor on this team. As right now, the Barrie Colts trying to battle back into this hockey game. It's a 5-4 score. 4:10 left in the third period. Face off to the right of Bennett. Won by the attack. Roberts has it taken away there by Asadorian. Asadorian in front, trying to bank it. It's bouncing around, ends up behind the attack net. Tristan DeLille comes up with it for Owen Sound. That's knocked away by Lowe. Lowe trying to send that one ahead. Back at the point. The attack, get it out. Here's DeLille into the offensive end. From the corner in front, Jaswal made the save. He had Pierce Bowie crashing in front of him. Now it's Aitchison skates it up. Aitchison trying to go around the D, and he is lifted by Roberts. Fans showing their appreciation of that play, but it's the Colts with a chance. Stopped by Bennett. In front, rebound. It's in the paint. Colts with it. Newton back to Armstrong, and Bennett able to hold on as the Colts coming oh so close to tying this one.
Well, some huge opportunities there from the Barrie Colts, and Trenton Bennett, as he has done since coming into the game, has been very steady in that net, not really panicky at all. Jaden Newton looked like he didn't really know what to do with the puck off that big rebound and dropped it back to Armstrong, set up another opportunity. But Bennett up to the task. Colts will bring out Joe Salandra here with Crombie and Newton as they look to tie this game again.
So we'll get the face-off here to the left of Bennett. Crawford taking the draw against Crombie. The attack will win it off the face-off. Vader can't keep that one at the point. Hanser chasing after it, but that's going to be an icing call against the attack. So we're going to bring this face-off all the way back to the other end.
They're just showing on the screen right now what happened to Cole Zarowski as takes a tumble there and then Passmore slips and his knee comes down onto Zarowski.
Well, judging by that replay, it looked like Zarowski already fell awkwardly with that right shoulder, and Passmore on top did not help. So Zarowski still out for the attack. I don't think you will see him back here, as we're now down to just over 3 minutes. The attack trying to get this one out of the zone. Crombie, though, had it. Rogers lost a stick, and that's going to go out of play. The referees are having a discussion, and they're going to say it was deflected, so no delay game penalty.
Don't think the Barrie Colts are going to agree with that now. Another official coming in, and we're going to have more of a discussion here.
Nope, now they're going to say it's a penalty. They were going for a second opinion.
Head coach Scott Ray screaming from the bench. He was just looking at the tablet, so I don't know if maybe he's seen an angle that he disagrees with. Nancy's going to the box right now.
Well, Bedkowski having a lengthy discussion with the official. They don't agree with this penalty, so a bit of a break here for the Barrie Colts.
Now, can Owen Sound challenge this?
I know in the National Hockey League you can challenge it.
That was maybe part of the new rules.
So they probably could challenge it here, but then you're risking another penalty.
The official's still discussing here.
Well, there's a lot of head nodding. Some confusion down on the ice. But I do believe this is still going to stand as a penalty for delay a game. And this power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. The 5th power play of the afternoon for the Barrie Colts. Face off to the left of Bennett. That won by the Colts, but it's 1-2 clean as it goes all the way back into the Barrie zone. Crombie dropping it back to Aitchison. Kahan Herson. He'll skate through the neutral zone. Still with it. Aitchison from the corner. Goes around the attack net. Dropping it back to Crombie. Crombie will send this back, but nobody was there for the Barrie Colts. Gardner can't keep it in. After the loose puck is Nelson, short-handed, trying to get to it. Keeps it away from Carter Lowe, who falls over. Nelson sending that one back, collected by Salandra. Joe Salandra. Back to Carter Lowe. That's center. That's Gardner. Lowe will send this one deep. Around the boards it goes. Salandra on the far side. Quickly there to Crombie behind the attack net. Crombie back to Gardner. At the point, Aitchison doesn't take the shot. Gardner gets it again. Back to Aitchison. Aitchison to the nets, and that's deflected wide by Crombie. Calvin Crombie trying to dig it free. It's in the corner. Loose puck picked up by Lowe. Back to Aitchison. Here's Salandra. Back to Aitchison. He loses the handle of that puck will escape the zone. And now it's Mason Ray short-handed on a breakaway. Ray shot stopped by Jazzwall. And he's going to continue playing it. But then Ray run over by Salandra. No penalty. And the fans at the Bayshore are livid. Crombie trying to carry it in. Asadorian loses it. Ray now back in the play and then nearly tripped up over Desiderio. DeLille now shorthanded. His shot wide of the net. Arnett gets it for the attack. That's blocked. 16 seconds left in the power play. Tristan DeLille skates it out. Now he's going to dump it in. As the Colts are about to see this power play expire. And the fans getting livid here at the Bayshore. And now that's an offside call against Barrie. And that offside whistle comes just as the power play expires.
Marvin Jazzwell just headed to the bench there, so it'll be 6-on-5. And yeah, very interesting play there. Salandra took down Ray and Scott Ray on the bench, not impressed. A water bottle came down from the crowd. Now what are we discussing?
Well, I'm wondering if there was a timeout called. But because of our broadcast vantage point, we can't see what's happening in the near corner in the Barrie Colts zone, so I did not see what happened with Ray and Salandra. I just saw Ray laying on the ice. But obviously the attack wanted a penalty. We're seeing the replay on the scoreboard.
He comes in, he beats Salandra for the breakaway. His shot stopped.
The camera doesn't even get it.
Well, they tried.
Yeah, they did. But no, we didn't actually get to see what happened to Mason Ray. But out of that, no penalties. So it's going to be a face-off coming outside the Owen Sound blue line because of that offside call. And Arvin Jaswal standing at the hash marks, ready to go off for the extra attacker. So face-off here between Tristan DeLille and Brad Gardner. As Crawford falling behind the linesman. Well, see how this game ends. 56.76 seconds remaining. Crombie now taking the face-off. It's won by the Colts. Jaswal off to the bench for the extra attacker. Puck sent around the boards. Roberts gets to it first. In front to Lowe, but he puts it wide of the net. Carter Lowe after it. In the corner. Passes it in front. Taken away by Crawford. Puck's loose, and the attack will get it out. 37 seconds. Aitchison back in his own zone to play it. He's got Crawford on the forecheck. Maybe time for one more rush here for the Barrie Colts. Kahan Herson reaches center ice. He's going to dump this one ahead. Asadorian got a piece of it. Gardner trying to reach for it. Roberts is there, holding it along the boards. The puck's behind the attack net. Now it comes back to the point. Aitchison to Salandra. Salandra gives it up to Crombie. In front, but Lowe couldn't connect. Puck comes back to the blue line, but Aitchison can't keep it in. He'll drop this back. 3 seconds. The puck bouncing in the Owen Sound zone, and that will do it. As the Barrie Colts comeback attempt falls short, it's a 5-4 final. And the Owen Sound Attack, they're now off to a 4-0 start. What an impressive display by them.
Well, not only is it a 4-0 start, Mike, but the Owen Sound Attack were not done any favors by the schedule makers. Their first 4 games, all against teams that made the conference finals last year, and they've done a really impressive job. I mean, London, not as good as they were last year. Barrie's still trying to figure it out, but the Kitchener Rangers were projected to be one of the better teams in the OHL this season, and Owen Sound made it look easy against them last night.
Yeah, and Dylan Smoskowitz at the end, he was coming off the bench, had a conversation with the official. Is a bit of a officiating controversy, we could probably say, here at the Bayshore. Some fans here thinking there should have been more penalties, but either way, what a victory here by the Owen Sound Attack. And this is a team not many people were giving much of a chance to. The talk with the Owen Sound Attack was, when and where will Carter George be traded to? But if this team can keep putting wins together, I think they've got even more difficult decisions to make.
Yeah, no doubt. We talked about it on the broadcast last night that at the beginning of this season, you were kind of thinking, well, what really are the Owen Sound Attack? They have a couple really strong OA players in Pierce Bowie and Cole Zarowski taken in the first round last season. And you thought maybe they'd take a step forward from 8th place last year. And I think they've taken a bigger jump than anyone really expected. And like you said, the discussion was really about where Carter George goes, not what goalie gets traded. Now the discussion is going to be about what goalie gets traded.
And now with the Barrie Colts falling to the Owen Sound Attack by a score of 5-4, their record now stands at 1-2-1. We knew this was going to be a tough week for the Barrie Colts with 2 games against Owen Sound and then last night against Windsor. And right now, this team, they're putting in the fights. They're putting in the gutsy efforts. Obviously, they would have liked to have gotten more shots on goal. Final shots, 45-31 for the attack. But we did see signs for the offense, but at the same time, just not capitalizing on those power play chances.
Yeah, no doubt. I think in the last 2 days for the Barrie Colts, they've had a couple power play opportunities that could have gotten them back into games. They haven't been able to capitalize, and hopefully with time that'll come as some of the younger guys start to improve, as Kahan Herson gets back into the mix of things, as Cole Baudouin returns. Adding Emil Hemming to the power play would be very good for this Barrie Colts team. You know, that one-timer he was a weapon on the power play last year. He's developed another year. would be a very good addition to that Colts power play.
So they're announcing the 3 stars here at the Bayshore, and getting the 3rd star is Landon Jackman, who made his OHL debut and got his first career OHL goal. So good work for Jackman. The 2nd star, Brad Gardner, he had a solid game tonight. No goals to his credit, but he also had a pretty good game. But it's a tough break here for the Barrie Colts, and as we wait for the 1st star, it's going to be from the Owen Sound Attack. We know that much. And they're announcing it. It's number 24, Nicholas Sikora. He opened the scoring here tonight. So Sikora, Gardner, and Jackman, your 3 stars tonight.
Yeah, Nicholas Sikora is a guy that is another reason the Owen Sound Attack were kind of a sleeper team. Adding a guy like him was going to be really big for this squad, and we've already seen it this season in the few games that Owen Sound has played against Barrie that Nicholas Sikora should be a really good player in the OHL. Like you said, Brad Gardner, another solid game for him, and I think he has been up to expectations with what the Barrie Colts needed out of him with Cole Baudouin out of the lineup. Great job by Gardner through the first 4 games. And like I said earlier, getting Cole Baudouin back is so huge just for the fact that it moves Asadorian and Gardner down the lineup one more line. It gets you 3 deep at center, and now you're rolling out 3 really strong lines. I thought the line of Asadorian, Crombie, and Jaden Newton was really strong today as well. And then Landon Jackman, of course, his first game, he gets his first goal. We had heard that he was impressing people here in Owen Sound, and I think we can believe it after today.
So it's a final score from the Bayshore, the Owen Sound Attack with a 5-4 win over the Barrie Colts. The next Barrie Colts game will be a home date with the Sioux Greyhounds Thursday night. They'll be home to Oshawa on Saturday, and then our next road broadcast will be next Sunday. We will be down at the Meridian Center when the Barrie Colts visit the Niagara Ice Dogs. It'll be our first look at former Barrie Colts Grayson Tiller and Riley Patterson. So looking forward to that one. For Josh McCann, I'm Mike Poirier saying so long from the Bayshore, as we will talk to you guys again soon.